All right.
Hello and welcome to DCP Live, episode number 163. Welcome, guys. How you doing?
Hello.
Teawrex in the house.
Teawrex here.
It's me.
Welcome back, T.
Electrified Teawrex.
Electrified, yes.
Yes, yes.
Do you have the Philips Hue system, T? So you set your colors to green?
I mean, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
They could be other things.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you switch
But
it?
Top secret lighting, apparently.
I like to stay on brand.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good.
Yeah, are you sponsored by a different lighting company that you can't say? He's like, well,
no.
I mean, it's Hue. but
Not
anyway.
yet. You don't know, man. Listen, I get panned on the table
Tesla's
by
Hue.
big lighting companies.
Big
you know?
lighting.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Gotta watch out
Philips.
for Big Sun.
Let's be
It's
honest.
out for you, man.
That's right.
Philips is pretty big. You know, maybe even some GE action right there, right? Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. Well,
Let's keep my options open.
hey, speaking of electric things, how's a new purchase?
Who would have thought that was the transition that was going to happen? I didn't know. Not at all. I love my new car. It's great.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Which one did you get?
I got a Model 3 because I do not print money yet.
Yes.
Yes.
Give it time.
Keyword.
pretty
good
No,
still, man.
listen. You could suddenly make a thing that is, maybe I go viral for tripping over something, and then I get a
And then
million
fat
subs
stacks
for
of
Twitch
cash.
Prime. Who knows?
Right?
Trip
Yeah.
over your Hue lighting, which is strewn all over your driveway. and
My
you fall
hashtag
into your
sponsored,
car.
but not actually sponsored. Hue lighting. Yeah.
Yeah.
fall right through your new Tesla window.
This all makes perfect sense to me, guys.
Mr. Beast donates to
Same.
me, being like, "Here, you can go buy another Tesla." I'm like, "Thank you, Mr. Beast."
Thank you. Actually,
Thank
I would
you.
like 3 Teslas so I can race
Can
them.
I have?
Yeah.
And of course, he'd be like, "Okay, that makes sense," and he'd give me 2 more. It'd be
Yeah,
fine.
you need a daytime Tesla, a nighttime Tesla, and a weekend Tesla, right?
Exactly. There you go.
That actually makes
Okay.
a lot of sense.
Yeah, sure.
Choosing it's like
You
choosing a
driving that much
class.
to need 2?
Actually, that makes a lot
No,
of
but the
sense.
point is to have as many as possible, right? Yeah,
I guess so.
yeah.
How does Breyer feel about electric cars?
I like them.
Like-
They're super fast.
Really?
Yeah. Have
what
you
about
seen the
Ferrari
Mustang?
Friday?
The Mach-E? The Mustang that they just
No.
announced?
I hate that it's
Heard
called
about
a
it.
Mustang. It is not
Yeah.
a Mustang.
It's a
The-
Ford?
The roof line, yeah, it's a Ford. The roof line, it's an SUV though, but they're kind of using
What?
Mustang-like branding
Oh,
for it.
T, I'm with you.
Well, I mean, no,
That's
they're calling it
dumb.
a Mustang. It's not. They're kind of
That's
using
a
it. It is on their
Bronco.
Mustang lineup. It's so silly.
Wait,
That was a little
And then
strange.
Tesla also, I think they're starting to show off their truck, right? Their pickup truck.
Oh,
Ooh.
Tesla dumps. Yeah? Tesla load.
Yep. Absolutely.
And then
Good.
Porsche just showed off theirs, but that, of course, is Porsche pricing.
Yeah, the Porsche milking. Yeah.
Volvo's got one coming too, the Polestar. That's supposed to be real fast as well.
Nice.
oh, I can't afford it.
So-
I'm actually planning on buying like a V8 sports car because I feel like it's gonna be like the last chance I have, and I've always wanted something like a Camaro or a
One final
Corvette or a
hurrah
Mustang.
before they get
think
like
But
outlawed.
I just want to get one before they stop making them.
Well, I think there's always going to be like a market for like older performance cars, even if like the combustion engine stops getting used. Unless there's
Yeah.
some kind of like legal mandate where it's like you can no
Yeah.
longer use a combustion engine. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Someday,
foresee
probably.
that'll be beyond our lifetimes, though.
right.
I don't think it's gonna take that long, to be honest with you, because electric cars are gonna get so good so fast,
Yeah.
and they're gonna come down in price very quickly.
Yeah. Well, before this gets extremely political, T, how have you
Did
been,
you guys
man?
watch the Democratic?
Yeah, exactly. Where are we at on
How,
impeachment, everybody?
how have you been, T?
watching debates?
How's things, man? How's when was the last time you were on? Actually, was it 6 months ago?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it's like a once a year affair.
Yeah, it might be.
Is it not?
I
Could
time
be. Yeah.
It's really not.
when you're
intended
playing
to be
video
that,
games
I
for a
don't
living, time flies by. Honestly, the seasons
It's
blend
facts.
into each other. So
That's true. When you don't go outside, you really don't care what season it is.
True. Also true.
Okay.
yeah. So how's the year been, man? How's 2019 rounded up for you?
It's been long. I've been doing a lot of stuff like on and off stream. Expanding outwards from Destiny is always an interesting journey,
Mhm, of course.
But we're doing a lot of stuff. Like I know, like currently, a lot of my off stream time is devoted towards building a website and hard launching my merch store, which will be hopefully before the end of the month. We'll see. Those should be like on the same day. I'm actually working with one of my favorite Destiny artists, Dr. Asanov or Vanessa. She does amazing artwork. We were trying to make some cool stuff that people can like because I think there's enough like merch out there, and I'm sure everyone who's owned a gaming shirt or a gaming graphic tee can imagine and agree with. A lot of shirts are just like, hey, look, it's like a logo, and like that's it. So we're trying to make fun stuff that's fashionable and nice, and not
is
like,
that the
here's a $200 shirt that has a word on it. Like, you like it? It's red.
$200?
It's got red. It says Supreme on it. It's $500. Let's go. Like,
is there an electric
I
one?
wasn't interested until you told me how expensive it was.
Is that what the website is then? It's like an artist specific type of thing that you're building?
No, my website's going to be strictly so basically what I wanted to do was, with everyone moving okay, first off, I've wanted to do this for a long time, but the people moving platforms thing kind of made me accelerate that process a whole bunch.
Okay.
But essentially, I wanted to make a website for my channel to where it's going to be like main page with an embed for my stream. And that's going to have things like socials on it. It's going to have like a blog on it for me. It's going to also have a calendar because Twitch refuses to give us a good calendar that's very functional and easy to see. And a bunch of other features too. So that way, like, hypothetically speaking, and I'm not planning on it, but let's say like Mixer's like, hey, Teawrex, you want to have I give you 50 million rubles if you come stream on platform.
Suddenly,
like, yeah, all right,
suddenly
let's do it.
3
and
Teslas.
So I take it.
3 Teslas, man. See?
So I do that. Then the nice thing is, if I've already started to like train my audience to go there versus like, twitch.tv/Teawrex, they go to whatever the website URL is.
Nice.
That experience won't change. It'll be the exact same. We'll just change the embed.
That makes sense.
So,
that is super smart.
That's very business.
Everybody starts writing things down.
Please pay me for my ideas. Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's great.
Yeah,
so
it's smart because you can build your own business around it.
Exactly.
Eventually, all that. I mean, definitely, if you're big enough, you should definitely look into. And you are, by the way, not suggesting you are, but like, I think it makes sense for folks as they have a community big enough that are willing to go away from like the core site, and it's super smart to even if you have 100 of your thousands of people watching that, it's huge.
In
my opinion.
That is huge.
It's always been on my mind, but I just
there's an important thing that I feel about having your own place on the internet, especially if you operate on the internet. So that way, if things ever go south for whatever it is you're working on, there's a place people can always figure out where they can find you. You know, so for like artists, that's like a portfolio page, right? For like photographers, it's the same thing. Like, here's all the work I've done. That way you can continue either finding more work or improving your work on that website. So I figured that seems very similar. So
yeah, absolutely. It's smart because a lot of these platforms are
not as big as Gother Broman. Thanks. I didn't know that. I appreciate you informing me. I had no clue. Especially considering one's my brother.
For our audio listeners, T was referencing someone in Twitch chat at the moment. Just
sorry, I apologize.
We'll be banned
for our people in the future who will be hearing this tomorrow. It's very smart because I always forget
because like we have Twitch chat, and this is mainly do you guys have where's more of your audience at? Is it on audio form or is it here?
Podcast
audio.
by far,
it's almost always that way with a podcast, period, because of the convenience.
Yeah, for sure.
You call it a podcast.
True.
No?
Yeah.
But if you look at engagement, is almost to your point. Like the engagement of a user is different where you go. Sometimes, like someone who you might have on your website is like maybe 10 times as engaged as say. I'm not suggesting audio listeners don't care about the show.
No, it's just like for sake of conversation.
Unbelievable. How dare you?
Yeah. I was just going to say though. I was just going to say it makes sense for platform diversification, having your own website, because, as you know, some crazy thing can happen. Let's say on Twitch or on Twitter and all these places, and suddenly your account gets banned for some crazy reason because some policy was formed in Washington that, you said something about a can of hairspray.
Look what's happening to YouTube right now, man. Like,
YouTube is a hot mess right now.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so it's very smart. That's great, T. You said you were doing blog stuff too? You branching into writing blogs, or are you?
I mean, it's more just like a fun thing that I can do because like I have a lot of things I like to talk about, so it'd be nice to put them in a solidified form. Nice. For a long time, I've really liked. I love Twitch because I love like the improv environment of like the live action entertainment you can get there, and like the conversations you can have are really special.
Yeah,
but the part missing for me as like a creative type person who wants to make things is that everything that I do, I can't speak for you all, is very impermanent. It's very ethereal. Like you can watch a VOD, but I don't feel like it's the same thing as being there live when something happens, right? So
100%
blog
agree.
is kind of like, okay, we have a conversation. I can write it down and I can put my thoughts on a specific topic, formulated that we had on stream or something like that. And plus, I don't know. I kind of want to just have more creative outlets in general.
Yeah.
So
I feel that for sure.
It's nice to get your thoughts out there.
Yep, absolutely. A lot of people think of Twitch streaming as very creative, but there's a strange lack of creativity at times that happens.
Sure.
Yeah, because yes, you are creating content, but you're not specifically, unless you're obviously an artist streaming, then that's completely different. You're making art on a Twitch stream. But there can be a lack of certain creativities that happen. But that's great, man. I'm happy for you. When is that launching then?
Should be by the end of the month. That's the goal. I know this week me and Alyssa have been working on that. So hopefully it's soon. I saw like the framework of what's going to look like. We picked like palette choice, all that kind of stuff. So the web dev backend stuff should be happening this week. So I should start seeing previews of it next week.
Nice.
So
that's great.
Very nice.
And so you were talking about the art side as well, and that's not connected to the website that you're making? That's a different project?
So yeah, I mean, so the merch stuff is just me working with artists I like to work with to make awesome stuff people want to wear. So we're gonna have like the merch. The merch is its own website, but we're gonna have like plugins and stuff for it.
Sure. Yeah.
So that way it's like a singular location for everything. But Shopify doesn't always get along with like Squarespace.
Right.
What you can do is like embed links.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a whole different thing. But yeah, I've been wanting to have like a concerted effort to do merch because I've never really done merch ever in my 7 years of broadcasting. I've done like occasional things, but it's never been anything of consequence.
I feel
you guys, on the other hand, have an amazing merch presence. And you guys do awesome stuff with merch with your posters and shirts and all that kind of stuff. So
it's great that it looks that way. Internally, it feels different.
Hope does an awesome job.
Yeah, that's
we can always strive to do better, right?
Exactly. There's always more. That's the thing when you're running your own business, and these are all technically businesses. Like there's always something that could be done.
Yeah. Exactly. It literally is about that time. Like when you talk about having it, TM, it makes total sense, but it's like, I think we all go through. It's like, yeah, I'd like to do it. And then you're like, oh, and then how much time do I have to write? Am I streaming? Should I put up a YouTube video? And are you out there making music?
And
you just got to get better at making short YouTube videos like me. I set a world record today.
He did.
Accidentally go live for 10 seconds. Oh, actually, I saw you posted, Briar. Yeah, it said world record unboxing. What'd you do?
28 seconds unbox the Stadia.
Wow.
Completed.
Yep.
World record.
Yep.
Come at me.
Is Guinness going to come to your house and award you a certificate?
Look, Guinness is already here. I got 6 of them in the fridge.
Oh, nice. That's great. I got that.
I figured that out.
I was just looking at something behind me real quick since we were on the topic of
Briar's just on brand.
Sorry.
Talking about beer all the
Do you
time.
have a PlayStation 5 back there? What's happening?
So sorry, no, I was there's just a belt back there. It's just hanging out. It's not,
Oh,
it's
just
not
chilling.
Just an average belt.
Don't worry about it. Just an average
belt flex.
an average belt.
Yeah. Subtle flex right there.
Just the daytime belt. Daytime.
Daytime belt.
Mr. Beast has not sent me my nighttime belt yet. So
Yeah.
That's great. How has Shadowkeep been for you, T?
I really enjoyed it. I think that it's definitely solidified the idea I've had in my head for a long time, where I feel like every time a content release happens, and maybe chat or your listeners, I don't want my listeners for your podcast, they're mine now. I've taken them. The listeners out there. For me, I can play Destiny super hardcore for like a straight month, because that's about the content cadence of me working through what came out immediately, and then working through what's coming out over time. And then by that point, about a month out, I start hitting this part where I've done everything presented for the most part. I might be hunting a thing or two, but there's usually lockouts involved, right? Mm-hmm. So now it's like, well, I got to wait 2 weeks until, let's say, the Undying Mind comes out, so that way I can complete my title. Or I got to wait until the dungeon comes out so I can get Harbinger, this, that, or the other. So it's like after that first month, I'm only looking forward to 1 or 2 things, and I have everything else pretty much done. And I've been that kind of a gamer for a long time. Like I play MMOs very similarly. When a new content patch comes out and I'm playing it religiously, I'll knock everything out. Then it's like, cool, I got 2 months until the next thing comes out. And I usually play other games. So I think with Shadowkeep and the Season of the Undying, so despite it being more of live servicey, and they're having a 3-month cycle of continuous content, my attention really only gets held for about one straight month. Like completely focused attention, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Makes perfect
does
sense.
make sense. The way the content comes out too is I feel like there's like 2 or 3 hours of content a week that you kind of want to go and check out, and then you can kind of bounce off for another week.
Yeah. Now, before we get into that content that happened this week, because obviously we're going to be talking about that, you said you've been playing other games as well, T.
Yeah.
I'm curious actually about your opinion on Death Stranding, because I just like to know. You know, we can't spend too much time. It's okay. This is a Destiny podcast.
Hold on.
Check out
I just want to know.
We have to talk about the ending, right? So it's going to be at least 2.5 hours, because that's how long the ending is.
No spoilers.
2.5 hours.
I'm only through chapter 5. Okay.
I checked. I think the entire game, if you can get through the start, I think you're going to like the entire thing. I think that without spoiling anything, the game is split up into different areas. Once you finish the first area and get into the second area, the game really picks up speed with its gameplay and with its narrative really quickly, especially if you just choose to do like the critical path stuff and not really branch out and help out random people along the way. So if you can get past that slower start, which is probably, I'd say, around like 8 hours, which I feel like was... And here's the funny thing there is everyone... So, no, yeah, I say 8 hours like it's a short thing, but then people love Red Dead Redemption 2, and Red Dead has an equally slow start, an incredibly slow start, you know? But I will say there's definitely more gameplay, but there's just as much walking around in that game. So
yeah, definitely.
That's why when I say only 8 hours, there's still, like, in my opinion, really good narrative happening throughout that. And you're being, enamored with this world, but it still feels pretty slow. It's a game that's going to be polarizing. I personally really enjoyed it. I appreciate the story as its whole. I think the ending drags on too long. It overstays its welcome a little bit. And that's, without spoiling anything, that's how I feel about that.
Nice. Yeah.
Is it your kind of game, though?
I love Kojima games, so yes.
Okay, exactly. And I think that's always, whether it's like you just like it the way he does narrative or the weirdness of it, I think like you hit the nail on the head with like what it is, maybe to everyone, but it sounds like you like it, which is, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I personally have enjoyed the hell out of it. Haven't finished it yet.
I love it.
I haven't finished it because of the roads and the zip lines, because they're so damn good.
You just keep working on that instead of mainlining the story.
Yeah, well, it's been a while since I booted it up, but yeah.
It's so easy to get distracted too, because you're like, if I complete all the packages for these people, they give me upgrades. I like upgrades. Upgrades are fun.
Yeah.
So I spend, and then I'm like, oh well, I want to build a road so I can do these deliveries faster. And
upgrades.
I get
They just help.
I get
people
excited.
Get
I get excited over seeing like, 1,000 kilos. How can I efficiently make this delivery? In like
zip lines.
Yeah. Well, you can't carry 1,000
always
kilos.
The answer is zip lines.
Can't carry 1,000 kilos on a zip line though.
Yeah, but what you can do, I'm gonna blow your gosh dang mind right now. You ready for this? You're gonna take about half of that with you, right? Half of the 1,000 kilos, you're gonna go across the zip line, and then you're gonna put it in the private locker of where you're going at. All right. So and you're gonna go back via your zip lines.
Deliveries
carry the rest of it. Unload half of it on the ground, other half on your hands, and they see you as a Amazon god.
So you would have to do 3 trips, because I think the max you can carry is 330 or something kilos. So you'd have to do 3 trips.
Depends on what you're using.
Okay, so for me right now,
but also 1,000 kilos typically is usually you're going to have roads. Yeah, and they want you to.
And also, roads. This quest was from like South Lake City, the Knot City, all the way to like the northern side, and I was like,
Knot.
Yeah, this is clearly a truck run right here.
Anyway,
I get excited about that stuff though.
Interesting. I think because we should talk about Destiny, but I would know. I actually think the most amazing thing about it actually is the quote, the strand system, but just the connecting with other players and the impact of when you first put down a ladder in a game like that, you're like, whatever. And then it starts getting likes. So when you put that next ladder down, man, you're totally like, wait, everybody's watching. Are they going to like it? And that changes the way you play it. And I think that was a really interesting thing that I hope evolves. In all
Timothy 247 just liked your ladder with 135 likes. And I'm like, thank you, Timothy.
Like, thanks, Timmy.
I love you. I love you. You're the best.
Timmy. Make sure to like my roads. Otherwise, I'm going to tax you. God damn it.
Yeah, Pope, you need to be out there, DCP_live, building. So we get liked, and like that's the brand awareness program.
Yeah,
Pope,
right.
Where are you at? Come on.
All right, so enough non-Destiny talk, guys. Let's get down to the hotness of what happened this week.
The final assault?
The final assault. the non-Mago loop dropping thing.
Something happened this week? I didn't notice. There was no update. What are you talking about?
The final assault happened for Vex Offensive.
The final assault. Well,
Nope.
yeah,
Everything's the
yeah.
same. I don't know
That's what
you're
it's
talking
called. Yeah.
Well, it's called the final assault. That's what's,
It is called that.
Yeah.
It's true.
I don't know what you're talking about, Fran.
I hope
There's
everybody knows
clearly
I'm being
a
sarcastic.
newly reused final boss in the Vex Offensive.
it's got a yellow shield. So hello.
I did see that.
Yeah. That's an update right there.
But yeah, Vex Final Assault finally dropped this week. And the portal in the tower, what is it officially? Is it a portal? I'm not a lore guy.
Is that actually done in the tower?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is done.
Yeah.
She says it's done, right?
That's how
She
you
went
use
through
it to
like-
get there.
Yeah,
It's like an
it's used
antenna,
to summon
I
the
guess.
final boss.
Yeah, what is it? Is it an
I
antenna?
will
Because
say-
like I thought it was going to be like a portal that you jump.
So-
I thought I was gonna go through it.
So
Yeah.
I think it is worth noting that they did say that this is going to lead up to something. So this
They
is the
did.
final assault, but I don't think that we're going to experience the payoff until we reach that
Yeah,
final
So you
part.
think there's something still coming.
I wrote this down. This was in the twab. The impact of your victory has not been made clear just yet, but in time you will learn more about how this will further evolve the world as we transition into the next season.
So it's a
We're gonna
transitional
build a new
final
wall
Vex
out
portal.
of Undying Mind bodies.
Yes. That's what's happening.
Maybe.
Hundreds of thousands of them.
It's possible.
I mean, really, the biggest thing this week is people getting the Undying title, because you had to have the final assault. You had to get 3 kills on that, and then that was probably the last thing for people who were on top of stuff. T, you were probably on top of it and just needed that, right? For Undying?
Yep.
Yeah, so that got you your title, Undying. And for those that don't know, that might have been kind of paying attention, but not really for the season, you can only get the Undying title this season. So you have about 18-ish days left to knock out all those things before that title goes away. Then you're not able to acquire it anymore in the Destiny universe.
How's that going, Teft?
It's actually going pretty
How's that
good.
going?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I know you were grinding like all the weapon type kills. I
yeah,
think, or...
you know, like my sanity is on the edge of breaking at times, but
Tefty
then
just loves Gambit. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
so I
Loves
have,
Gambit.
I have a strategy.
Loves it.
What I do is I play one game of Gambit Prime, and then I switch to a game of Control to work on Randy's. All right, and then I go back and forth. And if that's not working, then I can go work on like some ability kills for one round, and then go back to Gambit Prime. It's just I just keep doing that like that bounce around, and it actually keeps
Interesting.
me sane. You know, so I don't suddenly want to hate Gambit forever and like suddenly get super annoyed at everything Crucible related because I'm using the Scout Rifle, and I'm not personally a fan of using the Scout Rifle in Crucible. Not a
Not
fan.
being a coward.
The play style
It's-
to be effective with the Scout Rifle is so non-Destiny, you know?
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
You have to sit in the back and be like, yo, you come in front of my reticle, I'm going to shoot you. But if not, I guess it's fine, you know?
I guess I'll leave you alone if you. Yeah.
Yeah. You push people with a Scout Rifle, they kill you with a hand cannon and a shotgun. It's rough, man.
So we got 18 days left of the season. We got to start hearing about next season soon.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
don't
it's
think
normally
it's gonna be
within
next
the
week.
right? Week, 2 weeks.
yeah. I was gonna say
Probably
like we technically got the TWAB this week, which is talking about next season and how they're addressing
That's true.
solar subclass. So this is like this is a little bit of a appetizer. You know what this is? No, this is just the bread on the table. They brought the
Yes.
bread over and are like, "Do you guys
They've
want some
asked you
drinks?"
if you want a drink, but you haven't
Yeah.
gotten your drink yet.
They're like, "This is our menu for tonight. Here's the bread. It's great. Try the butter. I'll get you some
Seared.
drinks." And that's where we're at.
Seared garlic bread.
But I think the next course is
yes.
the full appetizer.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so that's, Undying Mind,
Also, I'm hungry.
Undying title. That's what's happened this week. Exciting.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, everyone who's Undying.
Not me. So what do people think of Vex Offensive then? Like the real, like what was the impact? What did you expect? You know, T, I mean, you're a guest. Like, how did it hit you?
So, are we talking about Vex Offensive as a whole,
Final
or
Assault
the
in
Final
particular.
Assault?
Waiting for November 19th. It's done. The portal's done. First reactions, and then now where do you land on the event, the Final Assault?
I mean, the Final Assault was exactly what I expected, but I'm by no means any less disappointed. Right?
Right.
Like I figured that was going to be exactly what it was, but I guess the reason why I'm disappointed is because I feel like there could be done, or there could be a lot more done for it. It feels like But but then for me, because I try to think in terms of like game dev, we also got a surprise of like the Altars of Sorrow that no one knew about, and that just kind of came out of nowhere. And I had 3 different weapons. It was kind of a new, not like a new game mode, but like it was a new activity that we didn't know about and just kind of showed up. So it seems like dev resources were being used elsewhere. So if this is like the limitations of what they could crank out in that time, like I get it, but I still am like, man, I kind of wish there was a little more. The buildup of the portal. There was no, like, in my opinion, mismanaged statements where Bungie was like, oh, yeah, you're going to jump through the portal. And then, like, now it's like, we never jumped through the portal. And you lied to me, Pongo. I'm going to file a class action lawsuit.
Exactly.
The internet in a nutshell. But this time, like, they I don't think that there was any mismanaged expectations about Final Assault. Aside from, I think there was player buildup of the narrative being like, oh, gosh, Ikora's building this portal. Like, that was really the only thing that. And I don't know if I can blame Bungie for that, because no matter what, like, we are the Destiny community and we get excited about stuff. And some people get too excited and then start, like, thinking, 2,000 IQ brain play, what's going to happen in 5 years of Destiny. And if it doesn't happen tomorrow, then, the game's a failure, right?
In addition to the portal being built, it was also on the roadmap for months now, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, just like looking at this date, what's this Final Assault? What's this Final Assault? So to see it's just, the Undying Mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because she told us weeks ago what it would be. It was like, we just got to find out which one of these the Undying Mind's in. It turns out it's exactly what she said it was going to be. I look at it 2 ways, right? There's the lore side, which, as a reminder, per the update, it's not complete. Like, we are still going to see something happen because of this chase and hundreds of thousands of us, out there as Guardians chasing down and destroying every Undying Mind that's out there until we're finished, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's one side of it. Then there's the event, the gameplay, right? Which,
I'm not disappointed with the narrative side of things. Like, I think that it's fine the way it is. I'm strictly talking about, like, the gameplay part of it. Looking forward to maybe having, like, maybe us going through that portal where typically that giant minotaur comes out from, and then we go fight the Undying Mind.
Yeah, and
maybe at the end of the new, like, maybe at the new IO strike, which is what, festering core. So, like, what if we, like, went through the portal and then fought the Undying Mind in the festering core instead, just to have, like, a little bit of a different area we engage in. Might have been nice.
Honestly, that would have been a perfect time to actually introduce a new strike if they had one. I know it takes a lot of time to develop a strike. But like that.
Now we're talking.
That would have been brilliant, right? Be like, or bring back a redux from Destiny 1 Undying Mind.
Yeah, or like you go through the portal and there's a new raid. And you just
new raid.
Boom,
Yeah, exactly.
Dungeon
raid. You have your 6-person match-made fire team. Go do this new raid that's just here.
I agree. I really do agree with Tab. Like, new strike, I'm always wanting it. I feel like that's my answer.
Strikes are great and they get so undertreated.
Yeah.
And I know that there's a reward
they take time,
issue.
I guess.
Yeah, they do take time. And I know there's a reward issue with the strike system and people having a tough time with like the reason to actually play like a heroic strike, anything like that. But
here comes Fallout Plays with his skeleton keys ran.
yeah, like I miss that side of D1 that isn't in D2 right now. A reason to play those strikes.
Yeah. I guess I don't, because we have the ordeal. I think that, funnily enough, to me as the player, the type of player I am, so I can't say for everybody, the ordeal nightfalls now give me a currency I deeply care about. Because masterworking is so not like difficult, but like it's
costly.
It's rewarding and costly. So the fact that I don't have to dump in like 110 enhancement cores to masterwork something and I get an item that just does it at the end for me, awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Sign me up. Right.
It's got a
but
nice
I also know that
difficulty, too.
I'm more of like a function player than over like new content all the time. If you give me a good reason to play something, I will be decently happy and decently, I guess cowed, to put it plainly. But I would definitely not say no to having like, because you mentioned skeleton keys back. I wouldn't mind having more strike specific rewards. But then again, like I said, in D1, I didn't really care about that either. Like they were things to chase, but very rarely did any of the things I had to chase matter. So to me, I'm happy that the ordeal nightfalls give me something to chase that do in fact matter and I want to have.
I think in a perfect scenario is that we'd have the ordeal with those things that we can get from the ordeal right now, which has been great. There's high amount of exotics with rolls and all that. And then also have strike specific loot or strike playlist loot. And that's one of the things I really miss. Like I think was it Driftwood would drop from that, and a few other specific legendaries that only
like
came.
Silicon Aroma and all that type of stuff.
Well, those are loot specific to the actual strike. I'm talking about the playlist itself. In D1, we had playlist specific drops in multiple areas, but one of them was strikes. And I wish they would put that in there so you could actually jump into heroics and have a chance at certain items that would drop only in.
Like a loot pool just for Ordeal.
Yeah.
Or just for. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, my thought of the Vex Offensive stuff was, I guess just because, it was on the roadmap and it being called Final Assault, in my mind's eye, I didn't expect it to be drastically different, but I thought it was going to get, like, whatever, like a remix of some kind. Like, instead of shooting those crystals, you did something else just for that, swap it out. And instead, it was, like, just the last boss was different. And then certainly, of course, like, I wish that there was, like, just one piece of loot.
A piece of loot would have been nice. Yeah.
Even to your point, like push, take a item that it makes sense, I guess, and even maybe if it wasn't even new, but let's say it dropped like just something that you'd been chasing and now you can get it there. Like I know it doesn't make sense, but Silicon Aroma, like I wanted it, now it always drops there, and I can just farm it. It would have given us something
or
to do, even if it wasn't
year 3 version Silicon Aroma.
Exactly.
Right.
So like even if it wasn't a
cool,
brand new weapon or an Imago loop or whatever people want,
the Imago
even
loop,
something. Just give us
It
something.
did seem like a home run to put an Imago loop there.
Yeah, that's like the
I would agree with that.
This guy.
I think the biggest thing is that it was on the roadmap, right? Is that there was this thing on the roadmap and it wasn't really anything substantial.
Yeah.
So I think that's why, I mean, of course, the story buildup is one thing, and people would think, oh, it's a story buildup, so it's, of course, something huge is going to happen. But the fact that it was on the roadmap usually means that it's
gameplay.
Something. Yeah. Something more substantial than just the end boss being different. Like, even if we went in and it was a different map and it played out the same and it was this new boss and a different map, I'd be like, okay, at least that's a more substantial change. So I think that might be why people thought it was going to be more substantial.
It's almost like we need a... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say that Menagerie set us up for thinking that like the boss changes would be different scenarios. And this one was very like, this is it. That's it. Same loop.
Yeah, I was just going to say on the roadmap, maybe this was it. To be fair, it's like one of their first cracks at integrating like a changing world and, of course, building the portal. Like maybe we need on the roadmap, just be clear, like if this was mostly a story event. Because in my opinion, like it's not really a brand new mode. And the roadmap made it feel like a brand new mode. It's just like they got rid of you know what I mean? So it's a story track.
Great events on the roadmap. Like here's a tier 1 event, tier 2 event, tier 3 event.
Call it the bottom row. That's the story. They don't even have to tell us, but it's like some story changes are coming. On November 19th. Then I wouldn't have. Don't even tell me it's Final Assault. I think my expectation would have been like, oh, interesting. This is what it was. The boss changed. Instead it was like I thought a new mode was coming, and so it's just a missed expectation. Like I understand. I'd be, some people I think are happy if the next seasonal content is going to be good and they're working on that, and I'm sure they are, but I'm totally in the world of Destiny after 5 years. I'm like, look, I'll be happy if there's quote unquote, I understand if they're busy working on the next big Destiny for years to come and like the content isn't always going to be as fat as you want it to be.
Sure.
I'm okay with that. I understand it. So
I think that one thing, so 2 things I want to mention. One, to that specifically, like we lived in an age where I think that we as the Destiny community are very fortunate that we get communicated as much as we do. I know it's funny to say because the big thing on like Reddit and a lot of the sentiment on Twitter is that, Bungie doesn't listen to their player base. I feel they always have. It's just a lot of the times we don't get the results that we desire. So therefore the answer is they must not be listening, right? Because my thing that I care about isn't being addressed. Like if you want my example of that, I've been asking for 2 things for forever. The first one is veteran dialogue on PC. And the second thing is like in-game looking for group, inside of Destiny 2, not having to go somewhere else. I've been asking for that for years. Yeah. But because they haven't added that doesn't mean they aren't listening, right? Or they aren't doing something. It's just the unfortunate truth behind game design is that there's like, imagine there being a master tier list of objectives they want to complete, and there's like an actual 1,000 things on it. Your thing could be 37. Your thing could be 800. Right. Yeah. And they're knocking out things that are important to other people over time. And, sometimes it sucks because you're basically just on the raw end of the deal that something you care about doesn't get addressed.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like sometimes number 9 takes 10 times as long to do.
That could be a thing too. And then you have like also like critical like game breaking bugs that are like, oh, that was 200, now it's 1. Like it's
yeah.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
And then the second thing that I'm curious about. So you mentioned that the roadmap specifically being problematic. Do you feel, because I do like Fran's idea of like if they explicitly did say this is a story beat, because I understood it as that. Like my expectations, like I said, were me just going to see, oh, Undying Mind's going to show up, and we're just going to be like, like as we do, stomp into the ground a few thousand times, and wipe our hands off, and that's that.
I was like, oh, is this Menagerie heroic mode? That's how I read it.
So I think that's a great idea, but I am curious because I mentioned that we are on, whether people believe it or not, we're fortunate to receive as much information as we do about the future of our game. With the exception, I would say, of PvP. That's kind of a more nebulous conversation that seems still kind of weird to me. Do you think that because Bungie is so forthcoming about stuff so far in advance, do you think that is a good thing or a bad thing?
Ooh, that's a good question.
So them laying out that roadmap, that's what you're saying? Is that a good thing or
giving
bad
us
thing?
quite literally everything that they want to tell us about the entire season in like one image? Do you think that on, October 1st, knowing what November 19th was going to be, do you think that is a good or a bad thing?
I think personally, its majority is good. It's just when some expectations, like the final assault of Vex Offensive, sounds like the heroic mode that's going to unlock something, but it's an expectation thing, honestly. Like I prefer knowing that things are coming, so I don't feel like,
especially now that they're selling season passes.
Yeah, exactly. Because we've gone through these phases where it felt like months have gone by without knowing what's coming, and it's obviously a different game at this moment. It's like you said, more live servicey at this moment in time. So I like it, but there are pitfalls to it, and this is one of those pitfalls. Thinking that we're going to get some sort of bigger event, more loot or something, when really it was a lore event.
Yep. Yeah, I just want to be clear. I know you were just paraphrasing. I don't think it's problematic at all. I just was explaining my failed expectation. And I don't think the roadmap's a problem. I think it's awesome. I'm the type that I'll even take a question mark on the calendar. And if they're like, you know what, it didn't work out. Like, well, I'm more open to that because of the reasons you listed. Like, I understand how game development goes, and I think that's fine. But I understand your question too. And for me, yes, I think the roadmap could be improved, but I hope everybody feels this way in the community. Let Bungie share as much with us as they're willing, and let's be open to our expectation. Meaning, again, I misunderstood what it was, and I'm just saying that, but I'm not like mad about it.
Well, so and also to be clear, I wasn't trying to like dump on you either. Because in my opinion, when there is there's some expectations you simply can't manage. I genuinely believe that there's people out there who, like I said, who are like thinking 5 years from now, they want to know what the darkness is tomorrow, right? Yep. They want to know what's going on with insert thing tomorrow. And you can't do much about that. But your thing, I genuinely feel like that, the way you described it to me, seems more like a failure on their delivery. And no matter what, like maybe they didn't intend it to, but hopefully that means they can learn from it. I really like the idea of being like, if that was how you felt that it was going to be this bigger thing, Menagerie, just adding the tagline of like story,
it could be a color on the square,
limited time story event, where the boss is going to change, and then we're going to find out what that story beat is after we have, destroyed the Undying Mind. That might have been a better job of addressing the confusion that, because I would also say that more than just you feel that way. I would say a lot of people feel that way.
Judging by how the community responded to it, absolutely. Because a lot of people thought there was going to be bigger changes. They thought a Magaloop was coming. They thought something more than just a boss was coming. But really, it was the boss and the title being unlocked.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a natural thing, and that's our point. Like, again, I actually think this season has been great. I think I love Shadowkeep. It's got, like, every release, there's stuff we want fixed, but overall it was great. Love the raid. So I'm not complaining about that. It's that when you make a roadmap, unfortunately, this was the finish line on the roadmap right now. So that was a big moment for us, and I think a lot of people, read into that. So just something for them to look to improve on for the next season, I hope.
Yeah.
They've already tweaked how they're going to do the roadmap and avoid this with the story stuff or whatever it is.
It's like we said, this is kind of their first time doing this progressing story of one thing going into another. So yeah, I really like Fran's idea as well of, I still want Bungie to talk to us because I think they've been doing really well at communicating with us across Reddit and Twitter and Bungie forums. So I would never want them to not do that. But yeah, if they are doing this progressing story thing, it might set better expectations if they do say this is going to be a change in the story. So then people aren't like, oh my God. I mean, people will always do that because it's the Bungie community. But yeah, there might be a better way to communicate what is actually going to happen without telling us exactly what's happening.
Because to be fair, like it left us even, I feel like we speculated on it for weeks. And like, if we knew this ahead of time, we probably would have been like, not as hyped about it. Maybe I misread that, but I felt like we brought up Final Assault all the time. We're like, ooh, Final Assault comes after the dungeon, you know? And like, I think we would have framed it differently. And like, in other words, there's people who don't even look at the roadmap, of course, or the TWAB, but we're now delivering that to hundreds.
When they aren't looking for it.
Yeah, exactly. Top of the freaking TWAB. I'm begging you, Cosmo, DMG, please. No. But anyway, yeah, I think because there's a lot of people that listen that may not look at it, and we're delivering that excitement and making it worse, probably. So.
Sure. Yeah. I think it's a fair critique. I really do. Especially because we expect things as Destiny players that involve exciting changes in loot. And when there is no loot and the change is very minimal, then there's disappointment that kind of shows up. And again, because it was the finish line for the season, the mark, the end big event, and I say big in quotations, really, that's why there was, that's why people were disappointed.
Yeah. But yeah, I do think after waiting, we are at the thinnest part, of this drop. And I think that, we were all hoping for one last little hit before, over here in the States, we got Thanksgiving coming up, and we're so close that it felt like it was going to be one last good hit. So I think we'll still get the story beat.
Ebb and flow, right? That's to be expected. When something hits on the roadmap, it's like, all right, I'm kind of looking forward to this. I see this on the roadmap. Like, it's big enough that they put it on the roadmap. So let's tune in and see what it is.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
You guys want to talk about the TWAB a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Sure. I do want to say real quick, though, to tie up this discussion of the season, we got, again, about 18 days left. So something's coming post 18 days. That'll be the next ebb of the flow that's happening. And I'm excited to see what they do, what the Season of Dawning is going to be like. So
I wonder, is the new DLC going to drop right then, when the season's over? I'm looking at the calendar right now.
18.
I mean, I would assume so, because they have to have a season, right?
Right.
They have to have a season active.
New artifact, right?
New artifact, yep.
Yeah, I mean,
that would be approximately
the 10th,
December 10th.
Yep.
Do you guys
sounds about right?
Do you guys think that they're going to jump our light incrementally by 10 points, and then have the artifact be the main brute, of
what do you mean
gains? So this season we got up to 960 with the pinnacle drops. Do you think next season is going to be 970 with pinnacle drops, or do you think we're going to get
sense? Yeah, our artifact is going to get reset, right?
Yeah.
So that anything we made there, I don't know, makes sense.
See, do you believe we're going to be dropped down to 900 power then?
900?
Wait, though, do we?
No,
so
wait.
The reason I said that is because you said Pinnacle's going to be 970, right? So that would mean that do you assume we stay at 960 going into the next season?
I'm assuming, because our gear is literally saying 960.
So
sure. No, I don't.
But what I'm saying is, you said Pinnacle gear next season is 970. So you're saying there's no progression in gear whatsoever aside from Pinnacle gear next season.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could see them bumping us to 1,000, and then it goes to 1,010 with Pinnacles. I could see that potentially, but it's also kind of weird that they gave us. They gave us this 10 light level bump with Pinnacles. So that kind of seems out of order, but unless you look at 4 seasons each with a 10.
They said it was for prestige, though, going into it.
Sure.
Sorry. But, they were pretty forward about this is, everybody can get to the same level. Some people can get to 960 with gear, and they're going to do that, and when they walk around in the tower, they're going to feel prestigious about doing it, and everybody else can get there with the artifact.
All I'm saying is I could see them taking each season as only 10 light level bump of Pinnacle activity. And
that would suck. I hope they don't do that.
Well, the artifact makes it so you don't have to rely specifically on getting those Pinnacles. You can do XP each season.
But some of the fun of a new DLC is, kind of that like little 30 or 40 light level jump that you go on for like getting ready for a raid and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a whole new approach. I mean, this is to be fair, this is the first new approach to their season pass model.
Yeah.
Now, these are all seasons, and they're no longer DLCs.
If that's so, too, you damn well better be at 950 if you want to be at the raid ready day one.
You think there's gonna be a raid?
That I'm not entirely certain on, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think there's gonna be a raid.
I don't think there will be.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. That would blow my mind.
It would be awesome. That would be a surprise.
Yeah. So, yeah,
was there for last year's December DLC?
Yeah, there was for Scorch. But see, that was an expansion. And I think I know I'm using their words, but like I think they're getting away from, right? That was an actual content expansion where now we just have a season pass.
Yeah.
And
I guess that's why the Season of the Drifter didn't give us a raid, but like,
was that an expansion?
Technically.
I think it was still called expansions last year, but you had the season pass stuff on top of it.
That's all just.
To be clear, wasn't it the annual pass? Wasn't it called the annual pass last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't call any of those expansions because they were annual pass content. I would say, and to make it even more clear, the reason why I definitely think it's not an expansion is because you can have it on any platform you want once you own it once.
Yeah.
I believe that the annual pass content is across all platforms, but Forsaken's not. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, honestly, I definitely forgot. The point is they specifically got away from, they don't want to set this expectation that it is an expansion. They're like, it's a season, and we've been experimenting with seasons. So I was just trying to set that tone. I definitely think.
But
so, I mean, I don't know.
It's not big DLCs. They're seasons. And that's why I'm saying I don't know if we should go in expecting a 50 light level jump, because you might like expect 10 and then be pleasantly surprised when there's a 50 light level jump with a plus 10 pinnacle.
I got you. I mean, I'd be lying if I said I'm not worried about what the next season might look like, because if you look at Seasonally Undying sans Shadowkeep, so without Shadowkeep, just completely by itself,
right?
We got like sandbox updates, technically, if you want to include that in the season. We got the Vex Offensive. And then we have the level 1 to 100 season pass, the battle pass looking thing for the 3 months, 3-ish months.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got a seasonal event, and that's pretty much it. Like that's it. Like if you cut out the raid and the story and stuff like that, nothing else happened. So I would say, it's definitely not. It's not like it's not worth my $10, but in regards to keeping my attention, I am curious if I will care about Destiny 2 for a full month in the next season, based off what Season the Undying delivered, by itself at least.
Right.
Yeah, I think that read is spot
That's
on.
fair.
We keep going in, thinking there's going to be all this content
every
year, right? Since the inception of Destiny. But that again was based on this idea of the roadmap that got leaked, before Destiny was really even a thing. And and that's what they're trying to get away from. And that's exactly what it's taught me, T. I'm with you. I'm like, yeah, I think there's going to be there's probably a new Crucible mode to play, because they said they're going to focus on that. And there'll probably be a new PvE mode to play as well to replace Vex Offensive. And they'll hopefully keep doing the thing they do with Menagerie and Vex Offensive. Do
you think this year is like we just got to get through this year while we're working on Destiny 3 kind of year?
I don't know. I think that's a distinct possibility. I don't know if it's Destiny 3, but I would wager that, not that they're not putting effort into this year, but it may just be a situation where there's still a singular studio, and especially now because VV's gone, they had to do everything themselves, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I sincerely don't really know about what the future of Destiny looks like right now.
Yeah. I think you nailed it, which is Shadowkeep was the big fat release, and we're going to get some seasonal content now, but you should set your expectations accordingly. And that means, new exotic and new mode. And I'll be surprised if there's a raid already. Maybe we'll get a raid into next year,
Start looking forward to Anthem Year 2.
What's that? Anthem Year 2.
The Anthem reboot.
Oh, yeah. That is the thing.
The Taken Anthem.
But I expect that, and I personally, because I like to play other games, I kind of appreciate the break, but it is a delicate balance of like, hey, I put all this time in, and I want to keep personally, I like to keep that on drip. I don't like full, full bore, because I like to spend time in other games. But that's the delicate balance. Like I want to be excited to jump back in and hopefully grind something.
Well, they said they're going to have stuff each season, and it's just, I hope that whatever Vex Offensive is in this next season is more interesting. Like, it was cool. I liked Vex Offensive, but the grindability of it fell short, honestly.
Right.
It definitely did.
Yeah, I'm not going to play it for 3 months.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes me wonder if, so obviously Shadowkeep did come with this one. So maybe it was a little bit lighter because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. It definitely is a warranted concern that this is what each season is going to be. But I'm hoping that with them not having a Shadowkeep type release, that they'll be able to do something bigger for the season.
I got a proposal. Let's try as a group, if you guys are up for it, but you tell me, because
I doubt it.
Full sketch. As a group, we work together to decide what we think is coming in the next season, right? So you can pick, like, is there a new strike, or is there, a replacement? I'll start with the easy one and see if we agree. Like, is there going to be a replacement for Vex Offensive that's like that? Will be closer to Menagerie, but
there'll be a new activity to replace Vex Offensive. Yes.
Yep, and a new title to chase.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So we got a new title, new PvE activity.
Mm-hmm.
Do we got to play
What
Gambit
else?
to get the new title?
Probably a buttload of Gambit. So buckle up.
So what else?
Man,
Will there be? I'll throw out a Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You
There'll
said
be 3
you
new
said
weapons.
a strike, and I wish they would add new strikes every season, but I don't think there's going to be another strike until like another big.
I don't think there
expansion.
is either.
Yeah.
Does anybody else?
Don't think we'll see a new strike.
That's a no.
I don't think strikes have the replayability to create new ones that make them worthwhile. I think it's too much dev time for something that's not as beneficial to all the player base.
But isn't that more of a hardcore thing? I mean, I don't have the numbers, but I would assume strikes are played more than the hardcore stuff we grind out.
I played
You
Google
are
Stadia
correct, but it's
today.
not aspirational content.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like,
They
how
don't
do I put it?
appreciate
I think
as
that the
much.
problem is that for what? Now we're going on 5 years of Destiny, right? So close, this is the beginning of the 5th year total of Destiny, correct?
Yeah.
2014
Yes.
now?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep.
Great. I don't think that strikes have changed enough, aside from the ordeal, to I think they're just kind of antiquated. Not saying I'm not saying I'm going to be,
Budgie, I can't believe you made another strike. I'm so mad at you. I can't. I'm not going to eat my peas now, and you're going to have to go get me McDonald's.
It's not like that. It's that I feel that strikes, although they are fun, I think I would rather have more when I think of, in my opinion, like a strike, I think of what the dungeon is. That's what when I first heard about this game.
Yeah.
When I think of MMOs, because now that's a term that we are using with a game like Destiny. When I think of a strike, which in Final Fantasy 14 would be a dungeon where you go and do an activity, they're relatively the same amount of time, but they're definitely more involved, and they have their own unique music, and they have their own unique drops, and there's that. But I think that because strikes are so much more like a snack food, that maybe that's partially why they don't like making as many of them, because then it's well, they're going to play this for 8 minutes, and they want to have a weapon and 3 armor pieces come from it that are unique to it, which is a tall order for something that's so simple. So what I would hope, and this is just me, completely just me, I would rather them stop making new strikes and make more dungeon-esque content. If I had to pick one of the two where the time went, that'd be my choice.
Okay, then.
But I also know that people love
They do
strikes.
do get replayability out of the strikes though, because they also use them for the nightfalls, and the night. That's a pinnacle.
But let's flip it around though.
Activity.
Let's flip it around to where the exotic weapon dungeons, that you go and get the exotic weapon, you then get the catalyst, and then you never play that thing again. Would you
never go back? Yeah.
What would you rather have, the dungeon or the
I'd rather have a strike
or the exotic weapon dungeon?
Wait.
Dungeon. Yeah.
I'm not. I feel like I'm not understanding the question.
Sorry.
Me again.
Okay, so Outbreak Perfected, that quest. You play that, and then you're done after, say, 5 times you went through because you got the catalyst and everything. Would you rather have that or a dungeon if you had to pick either or?
I see them, to me, with the way I played them, I see them very similarly. I know they're definitely not, but I would say I've done the Outbreak Perfected mission about as many times as I have done Pit of Heresy.
Really? Why?
With the exception of how many times I farmed the final boss, because I'm still trying to get the ship for Heretic.
Nice.
I would agree with T there. I do the dungeons. I kind of like get what I need out of the dungeons, and then I don't do the dungeons anymore. Strikes, like you just kind of keep coming back to, basically because they're rewarded activities. So if you want power levels,
dungeons are the same way now, aren't they? With power rewards at every single time.
But I was gonna say earlier is I logged into Stadia today just to check out Destiny on Stadia, just to see what it was like, and I logged into a Nightmare, and there was nobody in there, so I was just alone by myself. And I logged into Crucible. There was nobody in there. It was just in matchmaking like hell forever.
Yeah.
But I logged into Strikes, and there was always 3 people in a strike. Like people play Strikes.
Yeah.
I'm not saying people don't play Strikes. That's not the assumption I'm saying. I feel that to me they're an antiquated system. Because think about the problem of this is like older Bungie, but they talked about why they condensed playlists in Halo, right? The reason why a lot of playlists got condensed to, okay, we don't have all these things, now we just have Action Sack with all of these game modes in them, was because when you had too many things to do, the player base kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller, to where matchmaking start being a problem. And then Stadia, I guess, is like a same example there of like not as many people are there, and there's too many things to do. So what's the choice there? So that's why I'm saying I feel that right now strikes are kind of that for me. There is a decent chunk of strikes, and I think they could keep making unique reasons to do them. I think the Ordeal is a perfect example. There's still a butt ton of strikes we haven't even seen like an Ordeal version yet.
Totally.
Right? So I think there's still longevity to get out of the current strikes inside of the game before adding new ones.
Yeah.
And so if I could allocate that same time to completely from the ground up making something completely new, I would rather it go towards something else.
Yeah. Yeah, like you were talking about like specific armor, maybe whatever, a brand new version of Silicon Aroma and new weapons, like putting that in all the current strikes, little by little even, would be awesome stuff.
I've been saying this for a long time, that like Destiny is not lacking things to do. It's lacking rewards to chase at the end of the day.
Yeah. I would be
really
fine
like
with
the
them
stuff like
bringing
Menagerie and the Vex Offensive, because like that's kind of like a seasonal thing that you do a bunch of times during the season, and you don't get sick of it like you do with like maybe a strike you've done it 150 times and you're sick of it. Whereas Vex Offensive, it's gone. It's gone after the season, and I like that.
Yeah. It'll be nice.
That's why if they're gonna add stuff with each season, and they're gonna add something to what we already have, because like you said, we already have so much to do. It'd be cool if they add strike specific loot for one strike a season, and then you can build that up.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I can go farm that strike for new stuff. So that would make things replayable.
So good idea. We got to make this list. Do you think they'll actually do something like that next season? Does anyone believe they'll take one strike?
No. I think that what they're going to do is revamp Ordeal to work without the mods on the artifact. That's what I think they're going to do.
Wait, take the Ordeal and...
So they're going to have new enemy types inside of the Ordeal. So this is my hypothesis, is that things like anti-barrier and whatnot might go away immediately. And instead of... And this also might extend to like the raid as well, to where you have like the unstoppable Minotaurs in there. Or sorry, they're Overload Minotaurs in there. Divinity is obviously always going to have baked in... disruption on it, right? That's always going off. But I'm curious if they're gonna maybe disable a lot of that stuff when they disable the artifact, and then add like, let's say, I don't even know, maybe there'll be Cabal next season will be part of the big thing. So there's gonna be like armored Cabal where you have to have armor shredding rounds before you can do damage to it. Otherwise, like it's immune or something, right? So maybe that'll be the new mod where it'll do like over penetration by default for anything you put it on. And that'll be like the basic new type of enemy you'll see inside the Nightfall, where it's like, oh, Cabal Centurion's armor is sundered. You can kill it now. And it's like, my armor.
So that
exact voice line. It's exact voice line.
That sounds more interesting to you, but I think what's going to happen is they're going to stick with those 3: Unstoppable, Overload, and Anti-Barrier, and they're just going to add
change the weapons on them.
They're going to change the artifact to different weapons. So scout rifles and what's missing. They're going to rotate.
Oh, right.
They're going to rotate the variety. Like Pulse Rifle's going to get those, and then I think they're just going to redistribute to different champions. So we're going to get a different set of champions to then rework the ordeals.
So I guess the reason why I hope they don't do that is because that locks in like well over half of the artifact not changing, because that means things like Breach Refractor wouldn't change, things like Unstoppable Melee wouldn't change, except maybe the element on it. And I feel like that's not what I was sold for the artifact, right?
Yeah, I thought they
it's something that's supposed to introduce new ideas that are hopefully really cool. Because here's the thing. If people really love anti-barrier, which, guys, I don't think you guys like it. I don't think anyone's using anti-barrier. I think it's a niche perk no one uses ever.
I like it because you can shoot through shields.
No, no one uses it.
Shield.
Fran, totally no one uses it, Fran.
I like it. I don't love it.
No one uses it. Absolutely nobody uses it.
Do we have a disdain?
Only 99%, not 100% use it. All right. I would wager there's a high chance they bring it back, but maybe not on the artifact. Because that's the whole point of the artifact, right? Is to test out ideas that maybe if people like them enough, they'll just become a permanent part of the game.
Okay.
So
yeah, also
I would much rather have permanent anti-barrier rounds in the game versus like having that change weapons every season.
So
right?
T, I would rather have what you're saying. I agree with that 100%. But I do not think Bungie is going to be that flexible.
Let me dream, Tefty. I have all of the big dreams.
I think
it's going to happen.
Like as the community, we're thinking these like 2 months as this like test ground, and then we're going to have like actual decisions made. I think it's actually a 1 year test ground of stuff.
I don't think. I guess I just don't think that. I think that the cynical part of me, with which sees Bungie's track record, yes, but I feel they were pretty dang specific that they really wanted the artifact to test out brand new things every season. So we'll see. Like that totally could be a thing that happens.
Yeah,
I feel that if
I got
they
that
did,
impression from them too.
That feels very different. Than what I was
it could
sold.
be though. They half the artifact is brand new things, and half the artifact is old things.
That's what I'm saying.
So see, for the final row being new sounds like a thing.
That's what I'm saying.
The rest of the rows, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I see in it. It's like I'm definitely not expecting the whole artifact to be reshuffled and have like a bunch of new things. I feel like there's going to be a handful of new things, just like you said, Watts. That final row is going to be the real game changers every season, and that they're going to be experimenting with.
And it'll be like anti-barriers now on a scout rifle instead of being on your hand cannon. Is what I could see.
Randy's throwing knife is getting an upgrade.
There you go.
Okay. So far, we've got a new PvE mode, a new title. There will be new seasonal mods debated.
I forgot we were talking about this.
How many? I mean, we can fast track this. You guys just argue it. So I'll throw this out. We were almost there. Do we think there's going to be? Let's start with a new exotic quest next season.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Will it be an old exotic or a new exotic?
Both.
Let's wait. No, wait. You're going to bring us off first. Just will there be a new exotic quest? Don't worry about what the exotic is. We got 2 in for yes.
There
I'm
will
gonna
be
say
a
yes,
new
that's
exotic
3.
quest. Yes.
Yes.
Right.
There will be an exotic quest.
Yeah.
All right.
It's going to be a potato.
I think it'll be an old exotic though.
Drake's Promise?
Yeah. Drake's Promise is coming back.
All right. I'm on board.
I'm pretty certain Drake's Promise might actually be disgusting in Crucible on D2P PvP
Right.
on PC.
Well, that's because of the new
probably.
sidearm mod that they added to the artifact.
Oh. Big boy sidearm.
It has anti-guardian rounds where if one sidearm bullet hits you, you die. It's crazy.
You just aim. It's like you aim the reticle at their head, and they just disintegrate.
Yeah. Exactly.
Their PC just bricks. MAC address just wiped off.
I got a tough. So far, the only thing we're all no on is no new strike or no new specific strike loot added to old strikes. How about a new dungeon?
We got one last year, right?
Yeah, that was it.
Last year.
I don't think a new dungeon's coming for at least 6 months.
I'm not thinking a new dungeon.
Uh-oh. That's two no's.
I don't know. Put me down as I don't know. I'm lukewarm.
A hot maybe.
I can abstain.
Not
Nobody
really. I mean,
If you go to a voter ballot, there's somebody be like, I don't care.
like I can't drive to your house and
None
force
of your bees
but
wax.
You're supposed to just pick something.
Listen, I'm against this. Fran, you're the establishment right now. I'm a rage against the machine of Fran.
You have an anti-establishment round on mod. Okay, I got it.
Yes,
Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
I don't think there's going to be. So you know what? That makes 3. So we'll say. I guess that's how.
3 and a smiley face. How about
Briar, you didn't answer?
I forgot the question.
Do you think there's going to be a new dungeon next season?
I don't.
No. Okay. There's no on the dungeon.
Okay.
What else?
There's going to be an Eververse event.
Oh, definitely.
Yes. I was going to throw the new. What was it? Festival of not the lights, but
The Dawning.
Valentine. Oh, Dawning and the Valentine thing.
Yeah, there's Dawning. Well, Valentine
They
should be
better
next
let me
season.
bake cookies again.
But
Yes,
that's
that was awesome. I like the cookies.
so it's a good point. But we should stay on track with the content we're paying for, and that'll be a free event, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a good point.
Oh, you'll pay for it.
Put aside the free. Actually, wait. No. Okay. You know what? No, I rescind what I said because isn't the exotic quest for everyone?
They had both. One they had like that's part of the season, and one that's for everyone.
Confusing.
Yep.
Fine. Throw out whatever, but so fine. New seasonal.
I think it's better just to keep track of what's coming next season, in general.
Yeah.
New battle pass.
Sure.
Definitely.
So does that mean new armor with it?
Oh yeah, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I would wager, if we're talking about like new armor, how many armor sets do you think we're gonna get next season?
We're getting one in the Eververse store. We're gonna. Get
I would say
pass.
also that
Brand
includes like the
new?
full ornament set.
Or
Yeah, that would also
prize?
include an ornament set that you can just add on to whatever.
I'd say at least 3.
Yeah, new Eververse ornament.
Because we know from the TWAB 100% that they're bringing back a Iron Banner armor, and I don't know if they're going to make small changes to that or if they're just going to bring back the exact same thing. So I don't know if you'd count that as new armor. I guess it would be new in that season, kind of, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, sort of.
I would say a minimum of 3 brand new armor sets.
I'm with T.
I would definitely say 3 for sure.
Yeah,
because there.
Although we have Dawning as well.
I think that's
which
included.
would be during that. So
that's why I say minimum, because I think I don't know. I wouldn't include that. I would say 4 if you want to include the Dawning.
Yeah, same. Because you have the new activity, you have the season pass, you have the new Eververse, you have the Dawning. So that's 4.
Yeah.
And then
that's
if you
assuming
count
that the Dawning gets brand new armor, but it always seems to, right?
I think it will.
Yeah, it has. I believe I believe every Eververse event has always had new armor. I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
With the exception, I guess, of the masks, but there was still like the purchasable skeleton armor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, it's always new and it mixes in the old stuff if you never got it right. So okay, we've got again a recap, and I know we're missing other stuff. We've got. Oops. I hope I cut and paste all that. New title, new PvE mode, new seasonal mods. Debating how many. New exotic quest. New seasonal Dawning stuff, new battle pass with new armor set stuff, plus more armor all around. What about Crucible and what's going on with anything new there?
I hope, but I honestly don't know.
I don't think I think not this coming season,
Really?
the next one.
I was gonna say a new mode. I thought that was.
I mean, maybe, but so far the new modes that have come out haven't really done anything. So unless it's an integral new mode that goes into the classic mix rotation, I don't think it really does anything.
So yeah, like it sounds like you're saying you would agree they might experiment with something like they did momentum control, but it's not. If it's not part of the core rotation, it's not really new.
Yeah, like it's still new, but it's you're not going to play it that often because it's on rotating, so you have to wait for it to come to rotating. So. Yeah, it's not
nothing with PvP. They've got to do something with PvP. I thought they had said they were gearing up to make the next season.
I think it was season 10, right? They said season 10 we're looking at for the season of PvP, which would be the one after.
That's true. Okay. Wow, that's kind of scary for PvP.
It's been scary for PvP for a while.
Things are not looking bright for PvP for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, we have the big solar class updates, which will spice things up a bit.
I know that's a good segue, but we got to finish the list first, Briar.
We got to wrap the list up quick because we're already hour 13.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Are we missing anything?
Ritual weapons. Chat pointed out we forgot ritual weapons. 3 new ones. Gambit, Crucible, Vanguard. Ritual weapons.
I would say maybe 4 if they decide they want to have a ritual weapon for the new event.
That sounds.
I thought that was
awesome.
kind of a missed opportunity for Vex Offensive.
That would be amazing. I would love that.
You know what? That sounds amazing, but the reason why I don't think they would do that is because they want these things repeatable for people who join like 6 months, 9 months later.
So they're not called pinnacle.
No,
weapons
what?
anymore.
No, they wouldn't. What are you talking about?
Well,
ritual weapons. Ritual weapons,
away.
I'm pretty certain are gone. Like if you don't get them this season, they are gone.
Oh, do they?
What's an
That was
example?
my understanding. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Those quests
Give
are
an
going
example
away.
of one?
Like exit strategy.
I personally
throwing
thought that's how they work.
No,
maybe I'm wrong.
Randy's
I totally
throwing
could be
knife.
wrong, but that's been my understanding since the get-go.
I would be very surprised if Randy's throwing knife went away. I'm pretty sure those are staying. Those are quests that are staying.
Oh, you know what it is? You're kind of right. They actually said they will be cycled into other things because, like, right, if you have to do, there's exclusive weapons. They said they were going to be cycled into other things, but I don't think they set a timeline on when that would happen, right? Didn't they said some comment like that where it was like, yeah, anything that's exclusive, we're going to put into the overall pool, but we're figuring out how that's
this to everyone who I feel like is saying no, because then once again, this is the Twitch chat saying no. The reason why I would say potentially is that Bungie hasn't gone out and said that they are staying, but they've absolutely said that the title is going away, and that's a majority. Like it's probably a big part of the grind for the title too. So like, I believe what you want. And I would say if it is going away, they probably should have said something. But I also know they haven't said anything about them staying either. So
that's an interesting point. I mean,
I feel like they really want to solidify as being important, and that things ebb and flow and they stay and they go. I would not personally be surprised at all that if they went away.
Fascinating. I've been assuming that they're going to stay around, but
especially since they haven't said they're going away. I think that's where they've learned that people will be upset about that if they do just suddenly do it without warning us. So that's why I bet they're staying. But
I don't believe that Vex Offensive is nearly as big a part of the title as I think a lot of people give it credit for. Like the weapons I was using, I probably did Vex Offensive less than the total of Crucible, Strikes, and Gambit easily.
Yeah, but a lot of that felt bloated too. Like 900 arc ability kills.
Though, is it still like it was larger time spent not in Vex Offensive to get that title?
Sure.
I think all those weapons will stay around. Like almost certainly, it'll just be.
I would personally say if you want them, get them. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm pretty. I feel confident to stay around. Like we need a whole year of stuff to do. T. Like I get your point, but like if they take that away, it's like, oh man, that's just taking content away, which wouldn't make sense when it's so thin for that to grind. For that stuff.
I guess I disagree. For me, the one thing that I think a lot of people have always said about Destiny is that they want the things that they do inside of the game to matter. And as much as I think people would kick and scream about it, I think that that's a thing, right? It is a unique, you haven't been here moment. Do I think they're going to do it? I honestly don't know. Like, I just operated under the assumption that I wanted to get it done because I felt that they were going to go away. But to me, and everyone can disagree, it's totally fine. I get it. I'm probably the minority here, and that's all right. But that is an impactful change. If you were not here to acquire a thing, I think it not sticking around is good. The reason why I feel that way is the game feels more alive. But I think that the meta certainly has to change enough, and weapons have to also cycle out that weren't even part of that season eventually at some point too. That way, if you're like, oh, if you didn't get the Randy's throwing knife in season whatever, and you're in season 13, it's like, oh, when scouts are like the world's biggest thing, and you don't have the weapon, you're gonna get donked on, right?
Yeah. Okay. I think we did pretty good.
I don't believe it's terrible for the game because I think that it has meaningful parts of it, but I'm sure people disagree, and that's totally okay.
Yeah.
If Bungie balanced things more often, I'd probably be more like that idea more. Because I do love that. I do love like that they changed the title situation, so you can only get that title during the season. I think that is really cool because it's I was there and I did that, and I love that. I've always loved that in like Guild Wars. I enjoyed that. But like if we have a Recluse mountaintop situation where Recluse doesn't get touched for an insane amount of time and you can't get Recluse, I don't know if that would be healthy.
I also
I know that's not a ritual weapon, that's a pinnacle weapon. But
I also know that Bungie just has a history of not just being able to put weapons so freely in and out of the game, And
I feel like that's a problem, though, isn't it? Like,
I agree. Yeah,
I think that one of the largest problems that Destiny encounters is that the loot. So when we keep asking for more armor and more loot, right, consistently, but at the same vein, but let me keep what I'm currently using. And unlike, like let's say a game, once again we're using MMOs for example, if you play WoW or if you play Final Fantasy 14, minus a few caveats, a sword is a sword is a sword is a sword, right? In Destiny, a hand cannon is not the same thing as a Hawk Moon is not a Duke. A Duke is not an Austringer. Yeah. An Austringer is not a Spare Rations. They all feel different, right? So then you have the problem of, well, crap, we have to have all these weapons feel different. They all have to fill a purpose. And then you have bloat. And then it becomes, why do we even have most of these weapons in the game when most of them aren't even being used?
Yeah.
Right? Which one solution is, you balance to bring those weapons up. But then you have the other side where people are saying, well, this weapon I grinded for is no longer useful. So I hate this game, right? It seems very unwinnable. But in my opinion, if they want to go towards the MMO, ever evolving world kind of thing, I think that's a thing that they have to eventually decide to do. And by the way, for those listening, the reason why I frequently say in my opinion is that way no one can ever say what I'm saying. I'm saying is because there's enough of that on the internet. I want to always ensure that I'm not telling you
laid down
how
the
things
law
are or that I'm
exactly
right.
how it is.
I just want you to know
T spitting facts straight.
how my feelings are.
T actually speaking for Bungie right now. Unbelievable.
Literally, my father.
He's an on the 9.
Donald T. Bungington the 5th.
Donald T. Bungington. All right. Sounds like we got to move on, but we settled on PvE mode, a new title, new seasonal mods, some degree, a new exotic quest, new seasonal dawning stuff, new battle pass with new armor set plus other armor sets like Eververse, and then new ritual weapons.
Yep.
But there won't be a new strike, and there won't be a new dungeon, and there won't be a new raid. I think we agreed on all of that.
New emotes that you'll want to buy from Eververse.
I'm not so sure there won't be a new raid. There could be.
I think there'll be a new raid-like activity. I would say there'll be a new end game pinnacle activity that'll come out.
That's cool.
I'm with that.
I feel confident saying that.
And this would be different than like the Vex Offensive replacement.
I would say there will be a 6-person pinnacle activity of some kind, and maybe they'll decide that there will be a new, like a higher tier version of the event, right? That could fulfill that role. But that's what I think.
Wow, dropping the mic at the end of that list. I like it.
Cool.
All right, let's talk about the TWAB here.
Yes.
Some pretty juicy bits in the TWAB.
Juicy.
We're getting
Spicy.
the solar shift.
Solar. That's the sound of solar.
Yeah.
So they're going to rework some of the
More like
solar
the wind.
classes in, some of the solar subclasses, similar to what they did for the arc subclasses. And some of the changes are pretty big, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
You want to start off? Should we start off with Gunslinger? We'll just go from the top down.
Yeah, the best.
Yeah, man, we
Start
start
with
with
the
Huntress,
best.
obviously. Yeah, there he
Start
is.
with the best.
I gotta pull it up.
I know what to read. You can go ahead and read it. I just need to pull it up in front of me. I got it.
So they say they want the sharpshooter to feel more active reporting for players so you can fulfill the role of sharpshooter by taking down enemies with accuracy and precision. So for 6 shots, for the 6-shot subtree for the Gunslinger,
Top tree.
they shorten the damage fall off range to emphasize the short range Gunslinger role with a lot of kill potential. While it still performs at longer ranges, it may take an extra shot to get the job done.
Yeah. So,
So
right,
the-
in other words, bottom tree of those 3 shots, but everybody would just use top tree in PvP, especially because it's like, why wouldn't I take 6 shots over 3? And like, I think at a base, am I understanding that right? At a base, they were like, we want you to like think about the bottom tree for range and accuracy and etc. But if you're gonna play up close and try to nuke like a whole team up close on the flag, then maybe you should go.
They want you to have a risk involved with getting close.
For the 3-shot subclass, they're increasing the auto aim distance and reliability when aiming down sights, as it fulfills a role of long range accuracy. That sounds like it's gonna be like the Destiny
Lord
1
knows I need it.
golden gun that was like auto aim.
Mm-hmm.
And Tufty's like, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
And what about it?
And
Yeah.
Need something to shoot those warlocks out of the sky.
Right? They're gonna have a new weighted knife.
This is the big
high
one.
damage. Yeah, this is an awesome.
It
One.
is.
High damage knife throw. A high damage knife throw will with a long wind up.
Yeah.
Travels at high speeds, bounces once, and does extra damage to the head. Precision shot final blows recharge the melee completely. 1-hit precision final blow in PvP.
finally,
This sounds so cool.
Yes.
thank God.
This is good.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is
good.
gonna be real good.
I
Dude,
cannot
I can't wait for the
wait
clips
to see
Yeah.
the salty people on Reddit about hunters are OP. Oh my God.
So this is gonna be a totally different knife, right? 'Cause
It
you're
is,
gonna have
yeah,
to
yeah.
wind it up. You're probably gonna have to hold it down to wind it up, right?
Uh-huh.
Then release it, or it may just release on a timer. But probably
It
you'll
sounds like
release
you
it.
can hold it. That's a good question. It
Right?
almost. I was wondering if you could like. It probably should.
Friend's gonna
auto-release.
walk around the map holding the knife all the way
Yes.
back,
It's
slowly
gonna be like
walking.
GoldenEye.
Wait for it.
One
Wait
hit
for it.
knife kills.
right? If you get a precision shot, you get your knife back and you get a one-shot kill in the Crucible.
I mean, it's like a handheld Supernova where you have to hold that. I imagine you can't run while like you have your knife cocked back.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you cock it back and you can only slow walk and then right in the face.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking, because that is already something that is built into the game, that you hold on to the thing and then you let it go. Like that's already a thing. So I feel like that makes the most sense, that it would be coded similarly.
Yeah.
So I think also that's how it's balanced, right? Is that you need a precision hit to get a one-hit kill and to get your knife back, and you need to hold it before letting it go.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta charge it like a fusion rifle. And the thing travels at high speeds and it bounces once.
It does bounce.
I want to see the trick shot montages.
Yes.
What were you gonna say?
I think it's going to be a lot more lethal and easier to use than people think it is. I think the reason why people think it's going to be hard is because not many people are using throwing knives for precision kills very often right now.
Because they're bad.
Well, I think that once they start using them, they might realize how magnetic they are and how they really do bonk on someone's head. So I know we're memeing about like Reddit being mad about hunters. I believe that to be 100% what's going to happen. And two, I think they might actually be right. That's probably going to be the strongest Crucible class once this comes out.
And nothing wrong with that,
it depends
right?
on the artifact.
I don't know. The Warlock, I'm thinking, is going to be
so
very, very
hold
good.
up. I want to point out though, for me, T, I feel like the top and bottom knives are very difficult to land hits on. Like they have this strange avoidance for wanting to hit crits. Whereas middle tree, it's like it feels like a D1 knife.
I guess I just haven't had that experience personally.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm better, but just like or anything like that, or you're bad. It's just I don't know. Maybe it's because I use it in PvE a lot.
I'm going to Reddit.
So
T called me bad.
Practice with
it.
Back.
Go to Reddit.
Because like I genuinely feel like they have this, like if you go in PvE content or even like Crucible, like if you miss their head, it'll just still stick out the right side or left side of it, you know?
I have not had that experience at all. I felt like
interesting.
I felt like that it requires scout rifle precision, whereas in D1, if it's in the general area, it will like auto it felt like the hitbox was a lot bigger than the head was in D1, and in D2
it felt more responsive in D1 too. Like it feels like there's almost a delay after the button press when the knife comes out in D2.
Yeah.
I remember Mr. Holtzman. I know we don't know who that is anymore, but he was talking about that. Yeah. You might have seen him. I think he's like the manager now. So
I got a studded belt from him.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But of course he was the huge Goldie Hunter player who just was the throwing knife guy. And I remember him saying that he felt like the throwing knives on PC specifically just didn't feel as accurate as D1.
Yeah, like they murdered
Interesting.
it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I only use them in PvE,
that class
and
anymore.
that was it.
More changes. Practice makes perfect. Lasts longer, but gives a bit less energy per second. Precision hits grant 2 stacks.
Yeah, that's the one. Is that the trance I think you end up in or whatever? Is that one? Anyway, I think that's what they refer to it as. It's like a trance you end up in.
I know
it
you're
just
talking about,
lasts a little longer for this. I don't think that's as big a deal versus the other stuff that's going on.
Right. Knock them down. Precision final blows increase weapon stability and ADS speed. Timer starts at 10 seconds, but an additional final blow / assist can increase it up to 25 seconds. Casting your super with this buff above 20 seconds consumes the buff and grants extra damage. Does not stack with Celestial Nighthawk.
It's pretty cool. I mean, I'll take basically free stability and ADS speed that stacks, and you can. I mean, if you're going on a killing spree, and of course in PvE, you should be able to keep that up pretty much the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In PvP, you should. Well, you might be able to keep it up somewhat. You know, it's free stats. So if you has really crappy handling, then maybe it's not as bad. I know Discord is having it. Everyone's face.
That was weird.
Yeah, I was making sure nothing was downloaded in the background. We had some like serious audio problems.
I'm sad that the podcast listeners.
Watts is a robot confirmed.
I'm sad the podcast listeners aren't going to be able to experience what just happened right there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then it doing more damage is nice because then of course, it doesn't stack with Celestial because that would be nuts. But you'll be able to, in PvP, you could take out supers more reliably with it, which would be cool. You can do more damage to like yellow bar enemies in PvE without having to run Celestial Nighthawk. And yeah, I think think it's interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I was trying to think about it in PvE where it was like, there's just this consumption of the buff. You're right, casting with your super with the buff. So you got to prep the buff, and then it's above 20 seconds. Then you consume it. But it's like, how will that be useful in a way that you don't just put on Celestial Nighthawk? So I'm still thinking about
you still
that.
get
I was like,
3 shots or 6 shots.
Yeah, I was like, I guess for multiple enemies, or if like you have a problem with phases or something, maybe, it's... But it'd be nice because all I ever do is put on Celestial Nighthawk when I have that.
Yeah, I hate running Celestial Nighthawk.
Yeah, I'm tired of it.
It makes my super just like a one-shot thing. It's so unsatisfying.
I just don't help out the team in DPS and use Dragon Shadows because I'm selfish. Yeah.
Line them up. Old perks from Crowd Pleaser are now part of this perk. Golden Gun can cause precision damage, and precision shots generate orbs of light.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah, they just folded Line them up into this new Knock 'em Down, I guess.
So, no, they changed Crowd Pleaser into Line 'em
Oh
up.
yeah, sorry, they folded Crowd Pleaser into this, right? Yeah.
Indeed.
Yes, I was reading and thinking out loud. Sorry.
Oh no,
you're good.
Discord's having a night.
It's just Robos.
You got robot voice from me?
Yeah,
it's
been
bad
happening.
Fran. Bad Fran's coming to get you.
Bad Fran's coming. He's gonna get you.
There is a Bad Fran.
I killed Bad Fran.
I did. Me too.
I beat the game. I didn't see Bad Fran. I
Sunbreaker.
gotta go find him.
Yeah, you definitely got to kill Bad Fran.
Him or her.
You've already got a beard, so is Bad Fran clean shaven? Like bad spot?
That's a really good question. No, it has a shaved head.
I'm really sad I didn't run
Shaved
into
head.
Bad Fran either, man.
That is Bad Fran. Sunbreaker. The Roaring Flame perk has received a significant buff to its bonus damage, and the buff now lasts 25% longer, making it easier to build and retain stacks between encounters. The base damage of Throwing Hammer melee ability has increased. It's now very lethal in PvP while you have Roaring Flame active. In addition, once you've thrown the hammer and it's lying out, you don't have to get quite as close to pick it back up. Finally, we tune the super in a number of ways.
That's really nice.
Yeah, this super needs help. Burning Maul now lasts longer, giving you more time to use it strategically instead of simply spamming the slam button. We also increased the height of the heavy slam explosion, so this super should feel more potent against airborne enemies. And that's the gist of it.
Have you jumped up when a Titan slammed that thing down? Because I've been like, that hit me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a weird. I thought the same thing about that. I was like, does that miss already? Because I'll be 10 stories above it, and it actually appears above me and kills me. Like I don't know how it happens, but
it feels like it has like a vertical cone that just hits the top.
You can't. You have to like jump over them.
Yeah.
If you just try and jump up, it feels like it's going to hit you kind of no matter what.
Yeah.
Is this to hit the floofy warlocks? Is this what it is specifically?
Anti-floof warlock. Yeah.
I'm on board with hitting anti-floof warlock. I'm bored.
I have this odd suspicion that people here don't like warlocks.
What?
Am I
I was a day one warlock. How dare you, sir?
Unbelievable, T.
I don't like Titan. I've gotten over my warlock PTSD for now.
I, for one, love warlocks.
Oh, I just hate Titans.
T, what do you play as again?
Huh?
What do you play as for your
class?
No, it's okay.
You're breaking up. I can't seem to hear you.
You're breaking up, Fran.
He's joking.
Crazy.
He got me.
We'll never know what I play as.
I had 3 warlocks in Destiny 1 if it makes you feel better.
It does.
Okay, Titan upgrades to
Throwing
Sunbreaker.
Hammer increased impact damage from 100 to 120, and increased hammer pickup radius from 2 meters to 3.5 meters. I almost doubled that. Adjust hammer throw animation to fit a more damaging attack.
That's interesting.
Hammer throw animations.
I was excited about the bonk, just a real quick throw, just a boop, boom, boom. Yeah. But natural damage, that's not what I want.
I hope they didn't add a delay for after you hit the button. You know what I mean? I'm okay with the animation changes as long as there's not a delay between when I hit the button and when the hammer leaves my hand.
What if it does, like, what if the damage increase is significant? And so that's a reason.
100 to 120.
Is it percent? 20% increase?
That is 20% increase, yeah. big. I'd be surprised if they changed that because that really screws with people who use that already. And it's so I'm sure it just looks cooler. Why you gotta be so cynical, everybody? It's like we just made it look cool, and everyone's like, "Oh, they." Sorry.
That subclass was fun right from the get-go. It's just it wasn't that good, right? So hopefully that's what they're just adding good to it.
Yeah. By the way,
the Titans get good.
If somebody sounds like a robot, we should like have a sign because I can't tell if I'm saying stupid stuff or I sound like a robot.
No,
I mean, it's probably.
I think it's better we just roll with it because it's funnier that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I legit. Are we having robot problems still?
From time to time, it's okay though. Let's go.
Okay.
Keep rolling. Yeah.
It's just a roaming robot. It's fine.
Yeah.
Occasional,
The
occasional
podcast.
robots
Remember, we're recording our own audio, so Roaring Flames increase damage bonus from 10% per stack to 25% per stack in PvP, and increase duration from 15 seconds to 20 seconds.
Cool.
Okay. Burning Maul
Nice.
increased duration from 21.2 seconds to 28.5 seconds, so a full 7-second.
That's
increase.
significant, man.
That's a long time.
That's a big boy increase on that super. I feel like a lot of people are going to be
especially
checking
robot
that
time.
out. Yeah, in robot time, if I'm roboting right now, it's because that's a significant increase. The 28%.
The light attack reduced light attack energy cost from 5% to 3%, adjusting the animation so that it flows seamlessly into chained light attacks without stopping. That's a big change too, because you're going to be able to kind of like flow through light attacks. Heavy attack, ground slam attack now detonates when it detects enemies above it. Detonation radius will increase to make landing attacks more consistent. Increased energy cost from 6 to 8%. I can't wait to use it.
Sounds cool, man.
Is this the new bottom tree?
Yeah.
Striker?
Yeah,
Like,
no.
honestly, reading this, when I read it, I was a little bit like, wait, so you buff the damage, but you also buff the time as well? And I was like, dude.
And the radius that it actually hits people in?
Yeah, I'm like,
34%.
Give me a better melee.
I agree with everything about these buffs, but I will say I'm not entirely certain I agree with the radius changes because it's already pretty big.
It is, yeah.
We'll have to wait and
really
see,
big.
but that definitely was a head scratcher for me. But I'm happy it's getting everything else though.
Yeah. It's going to be really fun. I can't wait
Yeah,
to
that's
start using
big.
this.
I calculated it. It's a 34% increase in duration.
Exactly. It's a huge increase.
So
yeah.
Out of
7.3
curiosity, people maybe know math behind this. If you run Wormgod's Caress, and let's say you weaken someone, you pop their shields, right? And then you throw a hammer, kill them. So you have one stack of Wormgod's Caress and one stack of Roaring Flames. Is that next hammer you throw going to kill someone? I'm pretty certain it is.
Sounds like it.
Because it's going to do, with just the Roaring Flames buff, it's going to do 150 damage. So then I think the Roaring Flames... Or I think the Wormgod's Caress makes it just big enough. So I think it's gonna. Oh, one stock already one shots now. Oh, all right. Well,
there you go.
There you go.
I stand corrected. Well, there you go.
It's gonna be very interesting seeing what the response is in PvP for this because it sounds pretty lethal. Like right now, you literally have to turn around and run away the opposite direction to get away from some of those heavy attack. In fact, yeah, right. You can outrun it, right?
I think it's faster than you, but I think that if you're far enough away, you can because it'll like stop. Like it has a max distance on it, right?
Yeah. Yes, T. Robo T.
All right, great. I'm glad. Judging by that reaction, I think I figured out the problem.
What I'm wondering now is what do people hear versus what I'm hearing in terms of the
I don't know. It's weird.
Because I could understand you fine. Like that.
Oh, I'm definitely gaining information.
I have listen, I don't normally drink, but I made sure to before this podcast.
Got loaded.
Sauce it up
great
hard.
hammers. Like a bonk.
Yeah.
This is a quick aside, but if you ever want to hear some of the weirdest things you can hear in your ears, listen to Scatman. So I'm a Scatman song.
Yeah.
Listen to that at quarter speed, just the first like 30 seconds. It is. It either is the
100%
funniest
on
thing
board
to you or makes no sense.
That was amazing. All right, yeah.
That was perfect.
All right, Dawnblade. And nobody cares about the Warlocks, right?
Hold on.
Oh,
I just have to say that when you said quarter speed, you literally slowed down in robo speed to a quarter
was
speed.
amazing.
I'm glad that Discord decided to help me out with that piece of comedy.
It's like you were actually edited real time for the effect. It was incredible. All right, Dumbledore, let's get it.
Someone out there.
Let's see. When we initially released this path, the movement capabilities were tuned around the original Destiny 2 gameplay experience, which was much slower and more deliberate about positioning. However, over time, this movement needed to adapt to the new sandbox. We wanted to give the gameplay experience that fantasy begs for. A flying angel who can maneuver with grace and destroy its foes below. To accomplish our goals,
they're the whales in the sky. Okay, sorry.
To accomplish our goals of reworking the air superiority role, we needed to differentiate the two Daybreak paths from one another. As such, we reduced the speed at which Burst Glide accelerates players in Daybreak. We know this is a controversial change, but we wanted to reserve the air superiority gameplay with attunement of the sky, and the Burst Glide speed was blurring the lines between both Daybreak paths.
Okay.
So they're nerfing Burst Glide.
Only in the super.
Only in the super.
Yeah. So right now you can just spam it and you go faster, and they're trying to make the Speedy Boy Dawn Blade be a very deliberate thing that you choose instead of just getting it for both.
Icarus dashes while in Daybreak have increased speed and thrust to recapture the Burst Glide gameplay for those running the air superiority path. Excuse me. We hope that while this change is different, you still feel as fast as before, but with maybe a bit more expression behind that speed. The rest of the changes are below. All right, new Celestial Fire melee. Send a spiral of 3 explosive solar projectiles. Is this going to be a one-shot kill?
Round of applause for Bungie on this one. Absolutely going to be a one-shot kill. Absolutely.
No,
it's
I don't
not
think
gonna
so,
be.
How? Why would it not?
If it is like the Void Bomb.
I mean, it's like handheld supernova. Handheld supernova, I think, has hit you with 4 of the projectiles to kill you, right?
Which is
they only do like 50
a
piece, right?
Yeah, but this is a melee. It's not a nade.
Oh, but the point is, like I'm going to assume it's like the animation or like the solar bolts coming out.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be very similar to handheld supernova.
Yeah.
So there's only 3 of them. I don't imagine it killing you, even if all 3 hit you.
I thought handheld supernova was just 3.
I thought it was like 5.
Is it really?
That's what I thought.
See, I thought it would be closer to just like a little bit of,
I'm gonna go log it about Warlock right now. Go find out right now, okay?
I feel like it would be more similar to the Stormcaller melee, right? That's the ranged
what I was
one.
just about to say. It's just like a
so
little...
it's a ranged melee, but it's not a one-hit melee.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing is that it's ranged.
But you have to charge it up,
And
though.
this one's AoE. No.
They don't say that, but
No.
No?
They don't say anything about charging it up.
Well, the subtext there is you can charge it, and then you actually shoot out a Kamehameha blast of solar energy.
They definitely did not say that.
It's actually Chaos
You're
Reach the
listening.
melee. Have fun.
Well, this is what I come to expect with Warlocks, because they're
You can sit in a corner for
fantastic.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
Man, someone sounds salty.
No. Me?
Someone sounds mad.
Definitely not.
Hefty plays a Warlock more than all of us.
Yeah,
Probably
I
combined.
exclusively
Don't
main
let
Warlocks in all games. Chat can
That's
attest.
true.
Streaming.
That's actually
Also
very
true.
true.
Somehow I was a Void Warlock playing Death Stranding. It was weird.
And
That's pretty impressive.
All right, what
Heat
else?
Rises is getting a rework. Consume your grenade to extend glide time and dramatically reduce the in-air accuracy penalties for weapons.
That's cool.
This actually sounds really
Kind of
fascinating.
cool. Yeah. I like the sound of that. Winged Sun fire weapons, use celestial fire, and throw grenade while gliding. Airborne final blows grant melee energy and extend the duration of Heat Rises.
Yeah, that's cool. See, I love that they're making this class be all about
Airborne.
synergy. Yeah, synergy of keeping you airborne and giving you buffs for being airborne. Like your in-air accuracy is better than theirs because you are playing the air class. I love that. I love seeing synergy in subclasses.
That is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Icarus.
5 bolts that come out when you handheld supernova, by the way.
Oh, it is
I
5?
just checked.
Nice. I didn't know.
Yeah.
some reason in my brain, I always feel like I see 3 when I'm dying to it.
And they do feel, they're pretty close to each other, which is why, like, if 4 hits you and they have that decently large hitbox, they're gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to upgrade off that 1080p monitor.
I think that's what it is. 1080p.
I exclusively play at 480p, stretch screen, 75.
That's right.
Wait, hold up. Show of hands. How many people are on a CRT?
Nobody else? Nobody?
Did we do Wing and Sun? Yeah, we did Wing and Sun. Icarus Dash is getting reworked. Tap crouch twice to dodge. Dodging in Daybreak accelerates players further and costs less super energy while under the effects of heat rises.
Also,
The
something
synergy.
that I just want to add about that real quick is Cosmo tweeted after the TWAB went live and said that you will now be able to dodge twice, Icarus Dash twice before it going on cooldown.
Really?
Oh,
So
that's
you have 2 charges.
wow.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a button press change too, or was that how it always was?
That's how it
on
always was.
console?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm used to having a different key map
Yeah.
to it.
Mm-hmm.
Added note: due to the nature of these reworks, Wings of Sacred Dawn received a buff where it gains 15% damage resistance while Tomb of Dawn is active. Man,
While you're
Warlocks
aiming
are
down
just gonna be,
sights in the
staring
air,
at the
right?
left side of the screen, making sure all their buffs are active at the right,
Right.
times.
So is there
Sounds interesting.
is there a Warlock in the lore that stole Icarus Dash from Titan with the Twilight Garrison?
Ooh.
I mean, that's what it is now, right? It's Twilight
Well, here's the
Garrison.
thing:
Sounds
as
like
a
a Warlock
warlock,
would do.
as a warlock, we're able just to do more things than Titans. Titans had to have a piece of equipment to do that. Warlocks can just do that because they're better. So
Who made the Twilight Garrison, though? I wonder. Was it a Titan that constructed it?
I don't know. Probably a warlock, because I don't think Titans know how to use tools aside from their fists.
True. That's true. Well, I can agree with
It was
that.
Master Garrison.
I'm just saying. Take pride in it, because man, Thundercoil's been punching me in the face plenty. So no shame in that.
Honestly, the Warlock changes probably sound the most exciting to me.
They do.
Just
They sound
because
really good.
There's so much synergy. It seems like there's going to be a really high skill gap between someone who just picks this up and someone who has only played this and they are a master of this subclass, which is always really exciting.
As a Warlock main, I'm very excited about all these changes that are coming to Warlocks. Really looking
Someone click
forward
that.
to digging into all these changes. guys.
I think that this is going to be really good for threes. I think this is probably going to be like, if you're going to run Solar Subclass, I'd probably use this in 3v3s, just because the extra mobility, I think, is going to be huge, right? But in sixes, I don't see it overcoming the other Dawn Blade, only strictly because of how much you can get for refunds. You can still kill like 8 people in one Dawn Blade because of the refunds and zoom. But then again, maybe because you can't zoom around as much,
Right.
That'll be different. So I guess we have to really see the movement tech difference. But I would actually say I think the Hunters are going to be, at least in Crucible, we're probably going to feel this the most. If they like playing Golden Gun, I think it's going to be way better as a neutral game.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know. Flawless Execution is going to probably still be super strong, and Arcstrider is super strong. I think that everyone is like, I think every class has a lot of like, to put it frankly, we're all going to call it different things, but typically people call it bullshit. Every class has their different flavor of bullshit now, right?
True.
And, you know, I think that it's going to be hopefully more fun. We'll see. You know,
To be fair, the majority of the
This
BS
class
for a
sounds like it's
hunter,
gonna be fun to learn.
the majority of the BS
that
for a
too.
hunter has been, oh, you jump too much. Quit your damn jumping, you know? And yeah, True Sight sucks in momentum control, but you could still counter it at some point in regular stuff. Finally having a one-hit kill.
Wait,
melee.
are you telling me you can counter someone knowing where I am for 12 seconds, Tefty? Are you telling me that you can counter that?
Not in momentum control.
Please inform me of this.
Not in momentum control, but in like regular Crucible, you know, you could play smart and you still get radar blips, you know? But like, we
Just
now
don't peek,
finally have a
boy.
one-hit kill.
Yeah, just don't go anywhere for 12 seconds. Okay, that's a good
It's
counterplay.
3 seconds
I'll
now.
keep that in mind.
It's 3.
No, I mean in
It's
regular.
3 now, but he's like the implications. It's been that way for a long time, and that's a newer development.
Hey, I'm saying that True Sight is like, yeah, it's not an instant kill, you know, But
yeah, all it gives you is map vision for the entire enemy team for when it came out for 12 seconds. I don't see what's super strong about that. That seems fair.
I'm not denying it has its place. Obviously, it's very strong, and like I personally think it shouldn't be in the game. Like wall hacks, I think are dumb. But hunters have not had a one-hit kill for their melee ever. For the game for DC.
So this is my personal philosophy.
On being able to see you through wall.
My personal philosophy on that is I feel that they have the strongest class ability. I'm not saying I'm mad about them getting a one hit kill thing, because I think it's fine if everyone has one. But from like a design philosophy standpoint, I feel that what made hunters unique was their movement tech. And now I feel like if you add on the fact they can now have like, if they play that class, they kind of have like a mid close range one hit KO move that can refund itself.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how that plays out, but I feel like, you know, that to me feels like it's going against the grain of what I thought, at least, the design philosophy was, you know?
Yeah. I wonder what the range will be on that knife, too.
I don't know.
It says it's going to travel significantly faster.
You think it'll be a cross map, one-shot kill to the dome?
No. I'm ready to play like volleyball with that. We're going to be on like two sides of the map and you're just throwing knives back and forth and you're just trying to catch it.
Ooh, throw a knife dodgeball.
I assume it's got some fall off to it. I'm excited about the hunter changes, though. Yeah.
I don't think the current knife has any fall off if you hit somebody with it.
Well, wait, but meaning not the actual damage, but meaning you can't throw it
like range. Oh, yeah, it's not gonna.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would wager it's gonna go pretty far since you have to cock it, right? Yeah. Like I'd hope so at least.
I think it'll go farther. Plus, it ricochets once, which it's gotta like go reasonably far to I think get something out of it. I just think that sounds fun to like think about throwing your knife into a crowd around a corner. and perfecting, like, it's almost like a snipe lane. You're gonna have your knife lane. That's the corner that hits the flag area.
I'm excited about that they're adding the reset in there. So if you do hit one, you can automatically get the reset for the follow up to keep on chaining, and that's gonna be really fun to see those montages.
Yeah, that all three of these sound actually super fun. Like I'm looking forward to playing all three of these. The Warlock one, though, to me sounds like it's gonna be the most. Like learning how to kind of like keep all these buffs going and stay in the air for like a maximum amount of time. I think that could be like a game changer as far as like how you play Destiny.
That's really interesting because to me it seems like the antithesis of what I want to be doing in PvP.
Yeah, I was gonna say
the problem with a lot of that is you're stationary in the air, which is also known as a death sentence.
Yeah, that's true.
I was gonna say it sounds
like you have more English dashes, so I could be wrong, but like I've never had any English and play that class because I feel like I'm safer on the ground as a Warlock for the most part.
I think it'll be a PvE thing. That's what I was gonna say. Like PvP is the first thing.
I'm gonna enjoy it, and I'm gonna be here and be like, guys, I enjoy playing a Warlock, and then I'm gonna get.
I like the idea.
We're gonna have a whole
the idea of getting
episode of just loving Warlocks for some strange reason.
That's actually what happened to Pope and Holtzman. Both of them like switched over to Warlocks. We got rid of them.
Yep.
Oh man.
Wow.
I feel discriminated against right now.
You are.
I'm gonna read this book that you can read. As a Warlock who knows how to read.
Is that it for the TWAB? There was Iron Banner's coming back next week. Grimoire Anthology 3 is coming out, as well as a Destiny cookbook.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And on the front page is fried chicken, which, can I say, are we frying? Can we not do that? That is the Cade's living memory. Don't do that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a dark
Frying
book.
the Colonel with a sunshot, apparently.
The Colonel, man.
Dark book.
I'm excited.
Is there anything else we want to talk about, or do you want to go right over to...
Well, we should make sure to go over the charity stuff, right?
Yeah.
Where's that?
The Gaming and Giving. It's right above the cookbook.
Oh, Iron Banner's coming back. Just final Iron Banner.
Yeah.
Final Iron Banner.
Specifically, November 26th, and it ends on December 3rd. That's the final chance to get those pinnacles out of Iron Banner this season. Did you grab a Briar, or you want me to read over it?
You can read it. I don't.
Yeah, sure. So with the Gaming and Giving stuff, I'll just read it verbatim. Bungie says they're completely blown away by the generosity everyone showed for Game to Give, the fundraising campaign in support of Bungie's, the Bungie Foundation's iPads for Kids program and of Children's Hospitals. Everybody helped raise $1.67 million.
Dang.
Amazing.
Reached this incredible amount of funding because of 40,000 plus donors and 5,500 streamers who supported the campaign across 104 countries. And to say this was a true global guardian initiative is an understatement. And did Pope want us to pass along the Destiny community podcast stuff? I can't remember.
So with WTF Nation and DCP put together across the streams and charity raising efforts, it was what, 11,000 or 12,000?
I think
over 12,000. Yeah.
12,300.
Nice.
So thank you, everybody.
Which is a lot of money.
For the kids
amazing.
and everybody.
So,
It was awesome.
good stuff, everybody.
Such a great cause.
Literally saving lives.
Yeah.
So it's a huge.
Yeah. And it actually says for the Bungie Foundation, this will give us the capacity to expand into up to 5 new hospitals in 2020 and help over 250,000 more patients than ever before.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome. Great stuff. Okay. Are we robo-locked?
No.
I couldn't tell.
I think
Briar was moving
Oh,
or just like...
Now we are.
you're kind of roboing, but
Am I?
Is that the TWAB?
Okay.
I think that's the TWAB, right?
I think that's the twab.
We're kind of running low on time. We should do some Twitter questions though.
All right. Terry Hayes says, this is for Teawrex. Did you name your Tesla Risk Runner or Thunderlord?
I like that one.
So what was it?
He called it
I have not
battery.
named my car. Everyone asks me what my car's name is, and I don't have a name for it.
Thundercoil. That's the
Are
name.
you willing to consider naming your car?
You know what? I'm gonna call it Fran. How about that? After you.
Well,
Driving
like
Fran.
I mean,
it.
I'm
like it.
flattered.
I'm also gonna go ahead and superimpose your face on the front of it.
All right.
Oh, don't
means I
forget
get
the
to
white
drive it,
glove
right?
for Inky 2 times.
Oh, yeah.
Nice
never
koi.
Right. All right.
Winter Spartan says, question for T, what do you like most about Texas?
Food. Are we like rapid firing these? Oh, also, okay, sorry. I think we froze up for a second because everyone was like
I saw
staring at me.
Briar
We
like,
did.
What
Yeah,
do you
Briar
want
did
more
his-
from me?
What else?
It wasn't as
T?
good as the first
thing
one.
I thought of.
Vanilli says, with streaming gaining so much popularity the past few years, is it too late to get started? Or
No.
is it a question of how much you are willing to bust your ass?
I think it's always a question of that. First off, how much are you willing to put into it? And while the platforms have gotten more popular, I don't think there's ever a no, you can't get into it time. Like you never know what type of opportunities might show up if you get into the business. But absolutely prepare for a huge time investment.
Yeah.
I
I
roboed.
agree.
Nice. Excellent.
Ringo the Dingo says, with Season of Undying drawing to a close, with personal opinion on the content, this is what we split the whole contest or podcast talking.
think
So
we
I'm just
covered
gonna
that
The
one.
whole contest.
The whole contest. Rick, I just started playing Destiny 2 on PC. Thank you, Cross Save. Question is about VPNs. Will Bungie care if I run one? Are there certain settings that I should use on one? Do you guys use them?
Bungie does not care. I
Bungie
use
doesn't care.
NordVPN. Just might want to play around a little bit before you get into Crucible games to figure out which one works for you.
Yeah.
Also be aware you can choose VPNs that are banned, random websites, and even game. That's why you want to play around to find one you like, or an IP you like at least.
Yes, I think all of us use one.
Yeah.
To be
I
honest.
use NordVPN as well. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm between VPNs right now.
I always use protection.
It was pretty serious last time, but right now I'm between VPNs, so I'm hoping the next one it's like, you know.
Actually, they got
bought.
bought by like a Russian
Oh,
kind of like a shady Russian company.
yikes.
So I quit.
What were you using before?
I think it was called Tunnel something. I can't remember the name.
Sounds
of it
pretty
now.
shady. Tunnel in there. Yeah.
But yes, use one.
Yeah.
To be frank, in
Only
Destiny
in
PvP,
Russia
you almost
VPN.
need to use one, which is
Never
a crying shame.
go into PvP without using protection, guys. Very important.
That's
right.
Use protection.
Right.
true.
Use 2 VPNs. Double bag it.
Wow. Such
Michael
bad
Cameron.
advice on the show. God.
Michael Cameron says, Final Assault was so insulting that I plan to finally. If Jedi Fallen Order is Jedi Fallen Order my best choice for a mistress right now?
Half that question was broken up for me.
I'm going to try to read
he's
through
just-
that.
BB is your best choice for a mistress. BB.
Jedi Fallen Order is pretty damn good. It's no Destiny though. If you're looking for like long-term commitment content, like I think T, you played it on the hardest difficulty. You got under 20 hours.
Yeah, but I've also had a lot of practice with that type of game. So like, I know a lot of people are going to have a different experience with it. You know, it's kind of like if you play on the hardest difficulty, it's not like it is a Souls title, but like you can experience the difficulty of like wiping on bosses and, you know, learning it over time. That's similar and like learning areas, but it's not a supremely long game.
I got about 20 hours into it, and I'm not even near the finish, but I did spend about 6 hours of it drunk. So,
no, I think it really does depend on how you play. Some people just run towards the yellow door, you know, and others might take the long way around. And so, like I'm more so did that. I was like 35 hours on Master and then Grandmaster for the last half. I was like, why am I not playing it on Grandmaster? So I switched over.
I beat the game 20 hours. I played on Grandmaster. I think it like. Did maybe 10% of side quest type of stuff, maybe a little bit exploring. I went to that like optional planet later in the game, so you know I had fun experimenting, and I think as a Souls player, I think it was a lot of fun to play on Grandmaster personally.
Game's awesome. You should play.
It's a good game.
We need more games like that, despite some of its shortcomings.
You should play Sekiro if you haven't played it. Play that,
especially that too.
Absolutely,
it's an amazing game. Everyone should play it immediately.
Michael Cameron says Bungie sent out Final Assault email saying now a hidden location discovered on the moon. Given that Final Assault was just a lazy sprite swap, do you think they cut the event due to bugs?
Sprite?
That's some salt.
I think that's reading into it.
Michael, I think they might have sold it a little hard, to be honest. I think
that's
you're
marketing
being a little hard on it though too.
Sprite swap is hilarious.
Lazy sprite swap.
Yeah, that was just an email. I usually don't get my Destiny news from the marketing emails. That would be I would advise that, not that it's like bad, like it's just that's how those things are written.
Oh shit! I totally got to talk about Stadia. Speaking of getting emails, Watts, you had a chance to play a little bit of Destiny on Stadia. I had a little bit of chance to play Destiny on Stadia, and I got to say it was a pretty interesting experience. Plugged it in via Ethernet and had 60 FPS Destiny on my TV, and it felt pretty good. There was definitely some input lag, but if this has been something that you're looking forward to as like another option for playing Destiny, cross save is enabled, so I just was able to get right into it with my current characters. 60 FPS in my living room felt pretty good. I don't think I'm going to be doing any PvP trying to snipe heads or anything with it, but for running strikes, running nightmares, that kind of thing, not a bad experience.
Yeah. Same. I had way back then I wanted to kind of just been like, robots. Everyone had been like, it's the worst thing ever. Oh my God. And I have 2 billion up and down and it's awful. And I was like, oh, this actually, there's a slight input delay, but it's not enough to where I can't play it. I wouldn't want to do comp on it, although maybe I do want to, because maybe you load in automatically and you win. I don't know.
Auto win.
Oh my God, that
the
was
Briar
the best robot.
laughing.
Clip that, please.
Somebody please clip Briar. That was incredible.
That was so good.
That was pretty creepy. I'll be honest.
Oh my God, it was like Count Chocula robot.
All right, somebody's gotta clip that. I gotta know what that sounded like.
It was really good.
Yeah, I gotta say though, I mean, it some real bad press over the last week about Stadia. But if you're looking for like an option to play Destiny at 60 FPS in your living room, not bad, not bad. It's not 4K though.
Interesting.
I was disappointed about.
Interesting.
Yeah. Achievement Raider says, what would your reaction be if Shaq's got new voice lines and he's super toxic?
I'd be like, of course.
I
saw this coming.
Into that, to be honest.
Hashtag not my Shaqs.
Zachary, majority of players dislike Gambit. Just remove it from the game and use Improve Crucible. Would the community react favorably to this?
I'm going to need you to run that back real quick.
All right. It seems like the majority of players dislike Gambit. Should Bungie just remove it from the game and use those resources to improve Crucible?
There's a lot of people actually that like Gambit. Surprisingly,
there is a lot of people.
I think you're hearing a vocal. It's to me, it's very similar to being like, everyone complains about Crucible. Why don't we remove Crucible and put it into more content like raids? Like it's people were obviously playing it, right?
Yeah. There's like a very, like you said, a vocal minority that is very against Gambit. I personally don't want to jump in and play Gambit all the time, but I have been playing it and grinding
100%.
Yeah, I've been playing it and grinding it for the exit strategy, and like it's not bad, But again, I just like a couple rounds, I'm fine. Play something else, but I don't think they should remove it.
I'd be surprised to see it in Destiny 3 though.
Yeah.
Also, what's the point of removing it? Like, removing it doesn't automatically put funds into Bungie's account. It's not like when you're playing a game and you delete something and you're like,
freed up resources. The chiral network is free. I can add more buildings.
You're bad with I was going to say that. Then why'd they ever get rid of Trials, Watts? That is the question.
Because it was bad. Like, really bad.
People really hated Trials.
Okay, but
hey, Bo-Fran.
Yeah,
so bad.
All right, I say last question.
It's getting worse.
It's getting scary
it's
in here.
It's getting worse.
Briar, are you effing? He's effing with us, right?
No, I'm looking for.
He said last question, so he's
a lot
cherry
of
picking.
pressure on.
He's cherry picking.
You need a new processor, dude.
Should athletes in the Olympics be able to take any drugs they want so we can finally see really the best?
No, because I don't want Olympic athletes to die while they do it.
Thank you, T.
Yeah, like, because then you're forcing people to do drugs. So the people that don't want to, the athletes that don't want to, then couldn't become athletes because they're not willing to. Now, would it be interesting to see a bunch of superhumans do stuff? Yes.
Sure would.
But that should not be the norm.
That's what we have robots for. That's what we have video games for.
You know, I was promised a lot of things as a kid, and robot sports was one of them. And God, that has not come to fruition in the way that I want it to.
I mean, we did get battle bots.
That was super lame, though. I mean, those things were like a foot tall.
Yeah,
I want
everything about that.
I want those things Boston Dynamics are making.
Yeah, I was gonna say. First thing I thought too. I was like, let them
throw those
into
in the ring and see what happens.
Arena. Oh, totally, man.
You want real steals. What you want? You want that movie?
Hell yeah, I do.
True.
Robot blood sport thing happening.
Actually, is a good idea. Is Boston Dynamics and all MIT? They'd have so much funding if they just made these like robot fight shows with them.
Right.
And they already have some money, but
literally make my nightmares come true.
That's right. Let us watch.
Yeah.
That is a great setting for a movie, by the way. It's like we do what I just said. It started innocently as like a robot kill show, and it spins out.
They
of
rise
control.
up, take over humanity, and slave us all.
Not only reveals, humanity's worst, instincts, but also they slip out the door, and then we're in real trouble.
They just go
a lot of shade.
I get
it. My favorite instincts.
All right.
All right, that's the show, right? With a little bit of Robo.
It's gonna have to be.
It's a show with a lot of Robo. My goodness, T.
The Robo's pretty fun though.
It is pretty fun, yeah. T, where can people find you, man?
You can find me at twitch.tv/Teawrex and on Twitter at twitter.com/the-Teawrex. It's still taken by an egg account that does nothing.
Thanks.
It always is. Always.
If I got verified, it wouldn't be. I could be like, hey, Twitter, you excommunicate this member. Thank you.
But they won't do
Twitter
it.
hammer.
T, do you want to know? So there was someone impersonating me who has my name that I want on Twitter. They got banned for impersonating me, but they won't give me the name.
What the hell? Come on, Twitter.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, see, that doesn't make sense.
That makes sense. Twitter is a silly.
Well, you got them banned. The name's banned.
Yeah. But
it's
you
just
want the
sitting
name.
there.
It's step one, Watts.
They got banned because they were trying to be me.
I think you won the battle, and you could still win the war. Be patient.
Yeah,
maybe.
Patience, right? Fran.
I'm gonna go visit Twitter.
Fran, where can people find you?
Catch me right here on Twitch TV /FM3 _ at the end, FM3.
Watts.
I am Miss 5000 Watts. You find me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Just look for Miss 5000 Watts.
Briar.
It's good that everybody's saying things really slowly. That's what I'm understanding. Say things more slowly and robotic.
Yeah.
You can find me setting a new world record, fastest Stadia unboxing, 28 seconds. on YouTube. Look for Briar Rabbit.
Exciting.
28 cents.
Awesome.
You don't see what's in the box, but he does open it.
Hey, I show everything in that box.
You didn't take out each individual piece and go like, boom, boom, boom.
They all
this is the
left the
thing. This is the
box.
thing. This is the thing. No, I say it's cheating.
Wow.
Need a recount.
You should definitely go check out that video so you can decide if I need a recount on that. If you want to find more of me, I am at Teft on Twitter, and you can catch my streams twitch.tv/TeftyTeft, where I am playing a variety of games lately. Malawan Takedown just came out. Excited about checking that out on Borderlands 3. I want to say thank you to our live listeners, viewers, also our Patreons. Thank you very much for all the support. Thanks for our Twitch subs. If you are listening on various podcast indications like Apple Podcasts and Spotify, really appreciate all the support across the board and on YouTube. So thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week for another show that may or may not include robots. Bye, guys.
Yes.
Oh, are we doing a show on Thursday next week?
The delay, though.
Oh,
Updates on that later.
Yeah, that's a TBD.
Please tell me we're cutting. We're
cutting right now.
Let's just say stay tuned to our socials to find out when the next show will be.
Socials for that. All right. For real. Bye, guys.
Bye.